How long will we be at sea? You can return whenever you wish. It's quite fortunate. This year's event has been scheduled earlier, otherwise. You and T make it before school begins. Wang Xikong chuckled as well. That works perfectly, Wang Yu said, excitement building within him. After a few casual exchanges, Wang Xikong concluded, let us finalize this then. We'll catch up properly when we meet the day after tomorrow. Agreed. See you then, Wang Yu replied, promptly ending the call. To others, the world of the affluent second-generation heirs in the Magic City was shrouded in mystery. Yet for him, the ability to seamlessly integrate into any elite circle was entirely within reach. This confidence stems from the system and the background it provides him. His association with Wang Xikong is also due to the latter's commendable character, for Wang Yu has little interest in engaging with ordinary individuals. Sitting nearby, Lu Yan's eyes flickered as she inquired of Wang Yu. Is that voice from across the way Wang Xikong? Sister Yan, do you know Wang Xikong? Wang Yu asked, intrigued. We've met a few times, though we're not particularly close. It seems you two have a good rapport, as you're invited to the Christie's private auction held every 3 years. Is that a problem? Wang Yu replied. I've never participated in Christie's private auctions either, but I hear only members could be recommended to attend. In recent years, Christie's auctions have unveiled numerous world-class collectibles. The last auction featured a piece by Da Vinci, Salvator Mundi, fetching an astonishing price of $453 million, shattering previous records for art sales. Lu Yin remarked, it seems there are indeed many treasures. After some contemplation, Wang Yu found himself increasingly eager. His ambitions of wealth might just be realized at this auction. Spending $450 million on a painting indicates a certain level of extravagance, and the saturation of such wealth is apparent. However, for Wang Yu, money is not an issue. He can purchase as many collectibles as his resources allow, making it a sound investment. Christie's, as a prestigious auction house, values its reputation above all, ensuring that the authenticity of auctioned items is verified by a professional appraisal team, which Wang Yu finds trustworthy. Coming back to the present, Wang Yu asked Li Yan, Sister Yan, has the LaFerrari arrived in Shanghai yet? It's currently going through customs and should be at the store within the hour, Li Yan replied with a smile. As per your request, it comes in a striking red, and all other options are fully equipped. The LaFerrari, alongside the McLaren P1 and Porsche 918, is lauded as one of the 3 divine hypercars. With a global limit of 499 units, its base price exceeds 20 million yuan. When factoring in custom options and import taxes, the total could surpass 50 million. A modest target indeed. What was once a dream car seen only online is now within Wang Yu's grasp. In this lifetime, he possesses ample capital and confidence. Although the LaFerrari is considered ubiquitous online, its reality is starkly different. Fewer than 20 have been sold in China, making it a rare sight even in Shanghai, let alone other cities. Chapter 50. Finally acquiring the Ferrari in the realm of supercars, Ferrari undoubtedly stands as the most resplendent star. It embodies extreme speed, dreams, and luxurious craftsmanship, captivating countless automotive enthusiasts. With newfound wealth, Wang Yu is determined to claim this masterpiece. What you may not know is that the requirements for ordering a LaFerrari are exceptionally high. Typically, one must already own at least 2 limited edition Ferraris or 5 flagship models to qualify for a LaFerrari order. Lu Yin, beaming with joy, patiently explained this to Wang Yu, her eyes reflecting reverence and pride for this elite automobile brand. The ordering process is exceedingly intricate and cumbersome. It commences with placing an order from our end, followed by transmitting the specifications to Ferrari's headquarters, which subsequently arranges for production. The entire endeavor typically spans a minimum of 6 months before one can expect to take possession of the vehicle. Lu Yin paused momentarily, lamenting that during this protracted wait, several orders may encounter unforeseen changes due to excessive delays. Some clients may find themselves in financial straits, ultimately compelled to forfeit their orders. Consequently, those LaFerraris that are either partially completed or entirely finished find themselves in an awkward predicament of being unclaimed. Despite such occurrences, numerous buyers are still drawn to these coveted vehicles, often resulting in a frenzy of price hikes and an inflated demand, rendering these orders exceedingly difficult to acquire. Fortunately, with the facilitation of Industrial and Commercial Bank, you are able to directly connect with Ferrari's headquarters, which then transferred the available order to you and promptly incorporated your required configurations, allowing for expedited air transport. Thus, Wang Yu finally comprehended the situation, and his previous uncertainties dissipated. The process of ordering a Ferrari is inherently complicated, especially when it pertains to the LaFerrari. As a paragon of luxury automobiles, Each LaFerrari embodies the dedication of Ferrari's finest craftsmen, meticulously handcrafted, from the contours of the body to the selection of interior materials. Every detail is tailored to the owner's unique preferences and individual requirements, inscribing a distinctive mark upon every aspect. However, this meticulous attention to detail incurs a considerable time cost, with production cycles often extending to 6 months or even a year. These modern marvels, which amalgamate speed and opulence, command prices that can soar into the tens of millions. A substantial sum indeed. Clients who wish to procure a LaFerrari may face financial hardships, necessitating immediate liquidity. Under the weight of such realities, they may reluctantly relinquish their deposits and cancel their orders, leaving behind a sense of regret. Money is not an issue. Whatever the amount, I can charge it immediately, Wang Yu declared nonchalantly, waving his hand. Due to the nature of the resale order, there is inevitably a markup, and after accounting for various taxes and fees, the total amount required from you amounts to 68,880,000 yuan. Lu Yin produced a tablet and handed it to Wang Yu, stating, "Here is the detailed invoice for your review. Please proceed with the payment." Wang Yu briefly perused the tablet, then promptly retrieved his bank card and decisively remarked, "All right." Lu Yin accepted the card and, having prepared the machine in advance, swiped it. "Please enter your password." She then presented the device to Wang Yu. He entered his password, and the transaction was successful. With the successful payment, the machine dispensed the receipt, with Dragon Lily, the personal banker from Industrial and Commercial Bank, accompanying him. There was no risk of encountering the awkward situation experienced during the previous purchase of the Sky Palace, where the transfer was still pending. Ding! The system has detected a consumption of 68,880,000, yielding a double cashback of 137,760,000. Ding! Congratulations, the host has earned 6,888 system points. At nearly the same moment, the cold, mechanical voice of the system echoed in Wang Yu's mind. Yet, his expression remained inscrutable. He was no longer the excited youth who had just traversed realms, elated by the prospect of 50 million. The chilling sum of over 7 billion in his bank account had rendered his heart impervious to the fluctuations that wealth accumulation might once have stirred. Lu Yan, witnessing the successful transaction, wore a beaming smile. This order would yield her a substantial profit. However, establishing a cordial relationship with Wang Yu, a top-tier scion of affluence, was of paramount importance to her. Long Lily gazed in astonishment as Wang Yu nonchalantly made a payment exceeding 60 million. Even as a private banker accustomed to mingling with the elite, she could not help but marvel at Wang Yu's extravagance. In the afternoon, a specialized transport vehicle came to a smooth halt at the entrance of the Ferrari dealership. This vehicle was meticulously designed for unique transportation needs, featuring an advanced shock absorption system that greatly surpassed that of ordinary trucks. Inside, special securing devices tailored precisely to the contours of sports cars ensured that the vehicle would remain immobile throughout transit. Given the vehicle's high value, it was driven slowly to avert any mishaps. Lu Yin smiled and said, "Please bear with us for a moment. The car will be unloaded shortly." She approached the truck's rear and entered a password. The staff, who had been on high alert, sprang into action with practiced precision, carefully unloading the LaFerrari from the transport. Subsequently, a professional driver deftly maneuvered the car to the meticulously prepared delivery ceremony. Moments later, under the lights, a stunning red LaFerrari was unveiled before Wang Yu. The car's sleek, flowing lines exuded a sense of speed, while the yellow calipers and the visually arresting brake discs embodied a fierce aesthetic. The proud prancing horse atop the front and Wang Yu's initials emblazoned on the red doors further underscored his noble status. The LaFerrari, Ferrari's pinnacle of automotive engineering, epitomized exceptional design. Each vehicle was a bespoke treasure, unique in its existence, with no twin to be found in the world. Notably, it bore the extraordinary license Plate Magic 66,666, which Wang Yu had procured through considerable effort from the Industrial and Commercial Bank. In a bustling metropolis like Shanghai, a purely numerical license plate was already a rarity, let alone one adorned with a sequence of 5 sixes. Acquiring a luxury car merely required sufficient funds, but securing a prestigious license plate demanded a commensurate level of identity and status. While one might drive a luxury vehicle and be dismissed as a mere idle rich, the possession of an elite license plate would elicit admiration and recognition, marking the owner as someone truly remarkable. Believing that you, too, are eager to experience it, Lian cheerfully remarked. She refrained from providing excessive details, instead handing the keys to Wang Yu. given that Wang Yu was willing to pay a premium for the LaFerrari. It was evident he was well acquainted with its performance and specifications. A vehicle of this caliber boasts top-tier performance and features, as long as Wang Yu was satisfied. That sufficed without further elaboration. Wang Yu accepted the keys and opened the classic butterfly doors of the Ferrari, settling into the driver's seat and closing the door behind him. The red interior and the iconic prancing horse emblem greeted him. His signature adorned various spots within the cabin. The central panel, crafted from carbon fiber, along with the uniquely shaped steering wheel, imbued the LaFerrari's cockpit with an unmistakable racing spirit. As Wang Yu grasped the steering wheel, an overwhelming sense of unity surged within him. Under the influence of the euphoric aura of the machine, he momentarily felt as though he was already navigating this LaFerrari across countless racetracks, familiar with its temperament and performance as intimately as he knew his own body. He gently pressed the ignition button. In an instant, the LaFerrari beneath him awakened like a long-slumbering beast, its elongated headlights flaring to life. The vehicle trembled slightly, and the engine erupted in a ferocious roar that reverberated through the air, striking each onlooker's heart like a heavy hammer. The entire sales center resonated with the thunderous growl of the LaFerrari, deafening all around. Within the confines of the car, Wang Yu could hear nothing but the engine's roar. Bathed in light, the LaFerrari shone as brilliantly as the sun. It was not merely a car for everyday use. It belonged on the racetrack, dominating the world's finest circuits. Chapter 51. Zenrongji Restaurant. Wang Yu turned off the engine and exited the vehicle. Could you please arrange for someone to drive this McLaren one back? He requested of Lian. No problem. I'll have someone follow your LaFerrari shortly, Lian replied, her delicate, fair face adorned with a smile. I was hoping to have dinner with you, but it seems you can hardly wait. Haha, with you having plans, how could I refuse? You've been a tremendous help. It's only fitting that I treat you, Wang Yu said with a light chuckle. To be honest, there was a noticeable age gap between him and Lian, and she wasn't typically his type. However, given her assistance in securing the LaFerrari, it was only right that he expressed his gratitude with a meal. As the city lights began to twinkle, they arrived at Zenrongji Restaurant on the Bund. The warm yellow light spilled through the intricately carved window frames. Upon entering the restaurant, they were greeted by a decor that exuded a sense of timeless elegance. Solid wooden tables and chairs were meticulously arranged, and the silverware glimmered softly under the light. The air was filled with a subtle fragrance of tea mingled with the faint aroma of delicious cuisine. The gentle strains of a guzheng melody floated through the air, reminiscent of a babbling brook, instantly calming the spirit. The waiter led them to an exquisite table by the window, where they could gaze out at the vibrant scene of the Oriental Pearl Tower. The bustling crowd moved hurriedly, each person lost in their own world. Whether for the relentless pursuit of life or the chase of dreams, an insatiable longing remains, leaving one in perpetual unrest. As soon as they settled in, a waiter clad in traditional attire presented the menu. Wang Yu slightly inclined his body, indicating that the dish list should be handed to Li Yan with both hands. Demonstrating gentlemanly grace, Sister Yan, please feel free to order first. Lu Yan, unreserved, delicately flipped through the menu. Their signature dishes are abundant. This garlic bean noodle is a must-try, along with the tender and flavorful home-style pomfret. Just thinking about it makes my mouth water. With that, she expertly selected several dishes, then turned to Wang Yu and inquired, Xiao Yu, see if there's anything else you'd like. Don't hold back. Lily, you could decide as well. I'm fine with anything. Wang Yu smiled as he took the menu, casually passing it to Long Lily, adding a few more signature dishes before the waiter quietly withdrew. Xiao Yu, how are you finding life in the magical city? Lu Yan asked with a smile. It's all right, Wang Yu replied with a chuckle. I heard you are from Rome province. May I ask what your family does? Lu Yan tilted her head, her face adorned with a seemingly casual smile as she spoke. Although her words appeared to be mere small talk, there was an imperceptible glimmer of curiosity in her eyes. Wang Yu, at such a young age, had already attained the status of a VIP at the Industrial and Commercial Bank. She was genuinely intrigued by his family background. Not much, just running a small business, Wang Yu said, maintaining his gentle smile and composed demeanor. Lu Yan's lips curled slightly. She gently swirled her wine glass and half-jokingly remarked, A small business? Don't try to fool me, dear. To be so carefree and sophisticated at your age, surrounded by luxury cars and beautiful companions, that small business must be quite remarkable. Wang Yu, unruffled, took a sip of tea, his expression calm as he replied, Sister Yan, it's really not as exaggerated as you think. My family merely engages in some traditional small trade in Rome province. Although Lu Yan remained skeptical, she deemed it inappropriate to press further. inwardly scoffing at the notion of a mere small business being capable of producing a VIP at the bank. Before long, an array of exquisite dishes was methodically served at their table. The first to arrive was the garlic braised bean noodle, steaming hot, where the freshness of the garlic melded perfectly with the rich flavor of the noodles, filling the air with an enticing aroma. Lu Yin beamed at Wang Yu, urging, "Xiao Yu, do taste it. This is their specialty. I assure you, once you try it, you'll crave more." Wang Yu responded with a smile, picking up a chopstick full and savoring it before exclaiming, "Indeed delicious. The flavor is so delightful it might just make my eyebrows fall off." Following this, the home-style pomfret was served. The fish shimmered with a bright red hue, its exterior slightly charred while the flesh inside was incredibly tender, melting in the mouth. Lu Yin skillfully selected a piece of fish belly and placed it into Long Lily's bowl, saying, "Lily, this fish belly is the softest. Make sure to have plenty." Long Lily expressed her gratitude, and the trio continued to eat and converse, the atmosphere becoming increasingly harmonious. At that moment, the restaurant's gouging music transitioned to a piece titled Fishing Boat Singing at Dusk, the melodious tune perfectly complementing the bustling yet tranquil night scene outside the window. A young lady, adorned in traditional attire, gracefully danced by the window, her skirts swirling like blooming flowers, captivating the attention of numerous diners within the restaurant. Just then, several signature dishes they had ordered began to arrive at their table. Golden crispy ribbon fish, succulent roasted pigeon, plain boiled tofu, and honey-glazed sweet potatoes. Sated and content, the three of them savored the sweet potatoes while gazing out the window. At that moment, the bun was alive with the shimmering glow of neon lights against the night sky, the surrounding streets bustling with life and traffic. "Yinjia, it's getting late. I owe you a debt of gratitude for today. I'll treat you another time," Wang Yu remarked after glancing at his watch. Lu Yin waved her hand dismissively. "What are you talking about, troublesome? We should gather more often." Long Lily also stood up, and the three exited the restaurant together. The night breeze greeted them, carrying a refreshing chill that invigorated their spirits. The driver, arranged by Lu Yin, was already waiting at the entrance. After bidding farewell to Lu Yin, Wang Yu and Long Lily entered the car. Wang Yu retrieved his key and unlocked the LaFerrari. As he opened the door, the car's crimson door unfolded like the wings of a butterfly. Long Lily, in her high heels, gracefully slid into the passenger seat. She fastened her seatbelt, feeling a slight constriction across her chest, and adjusted it downwards before shutting the door. Wang Yu pressed the brake and ignited the engine. With a thunderous roar, the LaFerrari awakened like a slumbering beast, sending adrenaline coursing through his veins. Wang Yu's eyebrows lifted in excitement. Despite having driven a McLaren 1, the LaFerrari's allure was distinctly exhilarating, akin to the thrill of driving for the very first time. Skillfully shifting gears, the LaFerrari surged forward, racing out onto the street towards the Sky Palace. Under the glow of the city lights, the LaFerrari streaked through the night like a bolt of red lightning. Wang Yu steadily increased his speed, adhering to the speed limit with precision. Under the influence of the machine's spirit effect, the LaFerrari responded to his commands as if it were a well-trained steed. Behind him, the McLaren 1 driver remained vigilant, fully focused, wary of losing sight of Wang Yu. After a brief journey of over 10 minutes, they arrived at the Sky Palace, where Wang Yu instructed the driver to park the McLaren 1 in his designated spot. He opened the hood of the McLaren 1, retrieving a stack of cash from the storage compartment and handing it to the driver, saying, "Please extend my gratitude to Yinjia." The driver accepted the cash with a beaming smile. "Thank you, boss. I will certainly convey your message." Afterward, Wang Yu returned to the LaFerrari. "Tomorrow, please assist me in contacting a reliable security company. I require professionalism, preferably comprised of veterans with over a decade of service," he stated calmly to Long Lily. "Bodyguards?" Long Lily inquired, a hint of curiosity in her tone. "No problem. I will reach out as soon as I return home." Wang Yu felt a surge of anticipation for the upcoming adventure on the high seas. Although it was an invitation from Wang Sikong, the matter of safety could not be overlooked. Although Wang Yu possesses a robust physique, he is still lacking in practical combat experience. In the open sea, even the loss of a few lives could go unnoticed. A gentleman should not stand beneath a precarious wall. Thus, hiring a bodyguard is imperative. Long Lily, serving as a private steward for the Industrial and Commercial Bank, holds considerable resources at her disposal. Therefore, there is no need for Wang Yu to traverse back and forth to arrange for a bodyguard. He can simply wait for her to make the necessary selections before he decides. "Where do you live? I shall escort you home," Wang Yu stated matter-of-factly. "No need to trouble yourself. I can take a taxi back," Long Lily replied anxiously, waving her hands repeatedly. "Come now, it is still early." I will drive you back. Wang Yu insisted, starting the car and exiting the China National Agricultural Development Group's View 1. Very well, I reside at the central apartment, which is not far from here. Chapter 52, Maximum Affection Level. Returning alone to the Tianmu Palace, Wang Yu appeared remarkably composed, showing no signs of urgency. As Long Lily serves as his personal banker, she is well within his grasp. A brief wait would suffice. Wang Yu retrieved his phone, opened Fei Xian, and located Zhang Rou's avatar, initiating a video call. In the dead of night, the dim lighting within the Tianmu Palace created an intimate ambience. The room was in disarray, clothes strewn about, and tattered black stockings carelessly discarded. Zhang Rou lay in Wang Yu's embrace, breathless, her eyes hazy, her body drenched in sweat, the sheets beneath them soaked. It took her some time to regain her senses, and only after a while did she feel as though she had come back to life. At that moment, Zhang Rou found the opportunity to thoroughly examine the luxurious abode that surpassed her comprehension. Upon entering, she was greeted by high-end furniture she had never seen before. Every detail exuded elegance and opulence. Particularly striking was the panoramic glass skylight, which unveiled the vibrant nightscape of the Bund in Shanghai, immersing one in a dreamlike experience. Zhang Rou was profoundly astonished. She had never imagined a residence could be so lavish. Upon her arrival at the Tianmu Palace, she had been swept away by Wang Yu into games and had no time to appreciate the surroundings. Now, she could finally absorb the intricate details of the room, growing increasingly enamored with it. Nestled closely against Wang Yu, her curiosity piqued, Zhang Rou softly inquired, "Darling, this house is absolutely stunning. When did you purchase it?" "Just a few days ago," Wang Yu replied, a smile gracing his lips as he spoke in a calm tone. "This house is enormous. I feel like it could comfortably accommodate a dozen people, especially in such a prime location in Lujiazui." "How much did this cost?" Wang Yu replied nonchalantly, "Not too much. Around 200 million. Upon hearing this, Zhang Rou's expression froze. Her already weakened body softened, nearly slipping from Wang Yu's embrace. 200 million? She echoed, her voice quivering noticeably. This figure seemed an astronomical sum, utterly beyond her reach. In her previous life, she had never dared to harbor such extravagant desires, let alone contemplate purchasing real estate worth 200 million. Zhang Rou hailed from an ordinary family, and her entire household had always resided in a modest 3-bedroom apartment. In stark contrast to the nearly 200 million luxury residents before her, the difference was as vast as the heavens and the earth. Although she was aware of Wang Yu's substantial wealth, capable of casually acquiring luxury cars like McLarens, the extent of his affluence far surpassed her imagination. He purchased this 200 million estate with such ease. For someone of Wang Yu's age, such a feat seemed indeed extraordinary. For most individuals, buying a house is a significant milestone in life, requiring careful consideration and deliberation before making a decision. Yet, Wang Yu had made the purchase almost impulsively. From Zhang Rou's understanding, the entire process took him no more than a day. The disparity was undeniable. Zhang Rou looked up, a lingering blush adorning her fair complexion, and curiously inquired, "Darling, what does your family do?" Wang Yu replied nonchalantly, "Why? Do you wish to know?" "Oh, I'm just curious." Zhang Rou playfully pouted. "Do you know of Rongxing Pioneer Heavy Industry Group? My surname is Wang." "Ah." Zhang Rou instinctively covered her mouth, her face a canvas of astonishment. The Pioneer Heavy Industry Group is among the leading enterprises in the entire Huagua, and even on a global scale, it stands as a paragon of excellence. She never imagined that Wang Yu was the scion of the Pioneer Group. This revelation left her utterly astounded. Zhang Rou felt her heart race, as if it might leap from her chest at any moment. At that instant, she perceived the man before her as increasingly captivating. Zhang Rou donned a coat and stepped onto the balcony, savoring the refreshing breeze wafting across the Huangpu River. After a moment, she regained her composure. Standing at a height of over 200 meters, she gazed down at the dazzling nightscape of the Magic City, where the lights twinkled like stars and neon colors danced. Only from this vantage point could one truly appreciate the splendor and allure of the Magic City. In this vibrant world, where fireworks illuminate the sky, and the Huangpu River embraces the clouds, the sensation is truly delightful. It was no wonder this residence commanded a price of 200 million. Standing here, it felt as though the entirety of the Magic City rested in her embrace. As Zhang Rou admired the night view, she couldn't help but exclaim, "At first, it feels quite novel, but after living here for a while, it becomes just that." Wang Yu approached her from behind, observing the scenery outside, and remarked, "How could that be?" A house like this is something I would never dare to dream of. I suspect I would never tire of it, no matter how long I lived here. Zhang Ro turned around, her eyes sparkling with excitement, and said, "This is a residence worth nearly 200 million. How extravagant. If you wish to reside here, you can move in tomorrow," Wang Yu replied with a smile. "Ah, darling, are you truly willing to let me move in?" Zhang Ro gazed at Wang Yu with a look of sheer delight. "Of course, you are my woman, and thus the rightful mistress of this abode. If not you, then who?" Wang Yu said gently with a smile. Zhang Ro playfully called out, "Darling." Wang Yu noticed Zhang Ro's bright eyes fixed upon him, filled with affection. Her gentle gaze was now veiled with a glimmer of misty emotion. "Your kindness towards me is truly remarkable. I love you." Zhang Ro tightly embraced Wang Yu, burying her head in his chest, her heart brimming with emotion. Although she was acutely aware that she was merely one among Wang Yu's many women, his affection made her feel an authentic sense of happiness. She believed that even if she could not ultimately walk down the aisle with him, the cherished memories they created were more than sufficient. "If you're not kind to me, who else would you be kind to?" Wang Yu gazed out the window, his eyes deep with meaning. Zhang Ro wrapped her arms around his robust waist, rising on her toes to plant a gentle kiss on his face. Her eyes sparkled with charm as she sweetly said, "Darling, I feel my gaming skills are still a bit rusty. Would you kindly teach me again?" Wang Yu was momentarily taken aback, looking down at Zhang Ro. This was her first time eagerly seeking a challenge. He could not help but ask, "Are you sure you can handle it?" "Yes, I've rested well," Zhang Ro replied with a beaming smile. "Are you certain?" "I love you." Zhang Ro pressed her head against Wang Yu's chest, the rhythm of his strong heartbeat echoing in her ears. Despite the exhaustion from their intimate interactions earlier in the night, her mind was singularly focused on completely melting into Wang Yu's embrace, becoming inseparable, a blissful union between lovers. Faced with such fervent passion from Zhang Ro, Wang Yu found it hard to refuse. He lifted her effortlessly and carried her towards the bedroom. After a night of tender entanglements, when Wang Yu awoke again, it was already 10 o'clock in the morning. He rose, stretching his body, feeling refreshed. Turning to glance at the still sleeping Zhang Ro, he marveled at her unexpected fervor, which had allowed him to unlock various gaming techniques. Although their activities concluded due to Zhang Ro's fatigue, he was astonished by the immense energy her petite frame could unleash. A glimmer of gold flashed in Wang Yu's eyes as the system panel materialized before him. Name, Zhang Ro, age, 23, height, 165 centimeters, charm, 91, physique, 83. Affection level, 100. Skills, intermediate painting, intermediate sales techniques. Wang Yu gazed at Zhang Ro with a tender affection. Her maximum affection level alleviated any worries he might have had about it diminishing. From body to soul, this woman before him had entirely belonged to him. After a night of exertion, Zhang Ro felt utterly exhausted, awakening slowly around noon. "Don't blame me. You were the one who seduced me first," Wang Yu remarked, raising his hands in a gesture of feigned innocence as he observed her melancholic gaze. "You rogue. You should appreciate me more. If you scare me away, you will surely regret it." A delightful blush colored Zhang Ro's fair, dewy face, rendering her irresistibly charming. Wang Yu chuckled and replied, "Was it not you who first enticed me, being both inexperienced and playful? Now that you have rested, I shall take you out for some shopping today to make it up to you. Please wait a moment. I feel utterly drained." Zhang Ro lay on the bed, overwhelmed by fatigue, desiring nothing more than to languish in the comfort of her sheets, indifferent to the world beyond. Even the innate inclination of women to shop could not stir her interest. With no other options, Wang Yu resorted to ordering an array of takeout, ensuring a lavish meal filled with nourishing delicacies like bird's nest soup, shark fin, abalone, and sea cucumber, amounting to a staggering 18,890 yuan. After the meal, Wang Yu's phone rang suddenly. It was a call from Long Lily. "Young Master Wang, the arrangements for the bodyguards have been made. Please come and take a look." "All right. Send me the address, and I shall arrive shortly. I'm right next to your LaFerrari." "Okay." Wang Yu ended the call and turned to Zhang Ro, saying, "I need to step out for a bit. You rest well at home." "MHM, I will wait for your return," Zhang Ro replied softly, her head nestled in the covers. In the underground parking lot of the Tianmu Palace, Wang Yu exited the elevator to find Long Lily standing beside the LaFerrari, holding a substantial amount of documents. As he approached and unlocked the car, he inquired, "Since we've arrived, why not join me for a moment?" With a smile, Long Lily replied, "I just got here as well." Being his subordinate, she felt it inappropriate to invite herself directly. She slid into the passenger seat and fastened her seatbelt. "Wang Yu, Noticing this, started the LaFerrari and smoothly drove out of the underground garage. As Long Lily organized the documents, she said, "Young Master Wong, I've compiled a list of 3 reputable bodyguard companies in the Magic City. Let me share them with you. First, there's the Golden Shield Company, whose personnel are all retired Special Forces veterans from various military districts and outstanding athletes from martial arts schools, providing a range of bodyguard services. Next, the International Security Services Company, authorized by the Magic City Public Security Bureau, has grown robust due to its social and police connections in the area. Their bodyguard team is composed of retired Special Forces and Central Guard Bureau veterans, capable of offering personal protection services to domestic and international dignitaries, business executives, and celebrities. Lastly, the Spark Special Guard Company, primarily comprising veterans from recent Special Forces who meet 27 international standards, has a rigorous training and assessment mechanism. They possess a comprehensive training assurance center, conducting thorough background checks and implementing multiple security measures to ensure service quality. Among these 3, International Security Services boasts the strongest capabilities. Which one shall we visit first? After a moment of contemplation, Wang Yu replied, "Let us head to International Security." Half an hour later, Wang Yu parked his vehicle beneath the International Security Services Company building in Suhui District. Awaiting him at the entrance was General Manager Lin Shun, accompanied by several executives, who greeted him with beaming smiles as the LaFerrari approached. "Young Master Wang, we are honored by your presence. I am Lin Shun, the General Manager of International Security, and these are our core team members." Lin Shun extended his hand warmly. Wang Yu turned off the engine, stepped out, and shook his hand, responding courteously, "Thank you for personally welcoming me, Lin. It is I who should feel embarrassed." Long Lily followed closely behind, nodding slightly in acknowledgement. "Young Master Wang, Miss Long, please come in. I have prepared the finest Longjing tea for our conversation," Lin Shun said, guiding them in. Before Wang Yulai's arrival, Long Lily had already reached out to him, learning that Wang Yulai was a private VIP client of the Industrial and Commercial Bank. He dared not be negligent and had brought several executives to welcome him downstairs. Upon entering the reception room, they were greeted by an elegant and spacious setting, with the fragrant aroma of tea wafting through the air. After everyone took their seats, Lin Shun personally poured tea for the 2 guests and began to enthusiastically introduce his company's bodyguard services. "Young Master Wang, you have indeed come to the right place. Our company, John, enjoys a stellar reputation here in the bustling metropolis. As I previously mentioned to Miss Long, our bodyguard team comprises veterans from Special Forces and the Central Guard Bureau, elite individuals who are exceptional in every regard." As he spoke, Lin Shun handed over a detailed brochure, which included comprehensive descriptions of their various services, along with some classic case studies for Wang Yulai to peruse. Wang Yulai accepted the brochure, briefly flipping through its pages. Bodyguard services, emergency crisis management, risk assessment, security strategy formulation, information security assurance, and more. He nodded in approval. Observing Wang Yulai's demeanor, Lin Shun continued, "As for pricing, you need not worry, young Master Wang. We will certainly offer you the most favorable rates. We do not speak in hypotheticals. Every penny counts. If you seek top-tier security, we will provide top-tier service, ensuring you never spend unnecessarily. Lin, I trust you, which is why I have come directly to Jian. However, I would like to see the personnel first. After all, the effectiveness of a bodyguard relies heavily on their skill and experience." Wang Yulai replied with a smile as he set down the brochure. "Of course, naturally," Lin Shun eagerly responded, rising to his feet and calling out towards the door. Moments later, 6 tall and imposing bodyguards entered in unison, standing in a row, each exuding a cold and fierce demeanor. "Report. Wolfang Squad assembled and awaiting orders," announced the leader, stepping forward with a commanding voice. Wang Yulai's gaze fell upon him. The man stood tall and athletic, his muscles taut, and his eyes conveyed a sense of determination and decisiveness, unmistakably a seasoned warrior. Wang Yulai activated his discerning eye to examine the individual. Name, Lung Feng, age, 32 height, 185 centimeters, charisma, 80 physique, 96 affection, 50 skills, advanced combat, advanced reconnaissance, advanced marksmanship, intermediate demolition. The other members of the squad were similarly aged, with physiques above 90 and mastery in various specialized skills. Wang Yulai nodded in satisfaction and inquired, "What is your name?" "Report. My name is Li Jiming, codename Lung Feng," the leader responded, his voice resonant and robust. "Tell me about your squad specialties. How would you respond to an unexpected situation?" Wang Yulai asked casually, reclining on the sofa while meticulously observing their reactions. Cold Fong stood upright and responded with clarity, Mr. Wong, all members of our team have undergone rigorous training in counterterrorism, hostage rescue, and emergency response, making them adept at navigating a myriad of complex and volatile situations. In the event of an unforeseen circumstance, our foremost priority will be to ensure your personal safety, swiftly relocating you to a secure area. Simultaneously, we will implement appropriate countermeasures based on the situation at hand, never engaging in unnecessary confrontation, as your safety is paramount. Chapter 54. Umbrella Corporation. Wang Yu nodded slightly, finding Cold Fang's response satisfactory. He rose and approached the bodyguards, scrutinizing each one closely, occasionally squeezing their arms to test their strength. Long Lily interjected, Mr. Wang, I have also researched this matter, and I can assure you that the background checks conducted by Jian's bodyguards are thorough, with no adverse records. Furthermore, there will be regular psychological and skill assessments to ensure that the bodyguards remain in peak physical condition. Lin Shun, noticing Wang Yu's preliminary approval of the bodyguard candidates, felt a surge of joy. He quickly seized the opportunity to elaborate on the service details. Mr. Wang, our bodyguard services are comprehensive and tailored to your needs. Take this 6-member team before you, for instance. They are dedicated to providing round-the-clock, personalized service. Regardless of day or night, at your command, they will respond immediately, ensuring your safety at all times. Wang Yu raised an eyebrow and inquired, how is the pricing structured? Mr. Wang, as a VIP of the Industrial and Commercial Bank, let's be straightforward. The monthly service fee for this team is 680,000. While this may seem steep, every penny is well invested. The 6 individuals have clearly defined roles. Some are responsible for close protection, others for preemptive route reconnaissance and risk assessment, and some are skilled in operating various security devices, capable of establishing a protective perimeter at any moment, ensuring that you're safeguarded wherever you go. Wang Yu crossed his arms and gestured for him to continue. Lin Shun, seizing the moment, added, our company currently employs over 3,000 permanent security personnel, with more than 1,000 temporary guards available for deployment. All of them comprise former special forces and retired personnel from the Central Guard Bureau. Should we encounter a unique situation requiring additional manpower or special equipment, our company has an emergency mobilization mechanism in place to ensure complete cooperation without hesitation. What on earth? Wang Yu exclaimed, startled, rising to his feet. Is your company legitimate? Why employ so many veterans? It is no wonder Wang Yu was astonished. Over 4,000 veterans, particularly those from Special Forces and the Central Guard Bureau, could easily overpower a smaller nation if equipped appropriately. If they were outfitted with heavy mechanized battalion gear, this formidable group could potentially seize significant territory in a neighboring country. Manager Lin waved his hand and chuckled wryly. Mr. Wang, rest assured, we operate with the permission of the Shanghai Public Security Bureau. Otherwise, we wouldn't dare to recruit such a large number. The recruitment of so many individuals is indeed a necessary endeavor. Each year, a substantial number of veterans retire, many of whom lack relevant survival skills for civilian life. Consequently, numerous veterans struggle to earn a living and are relegated to roles such as security guards or factory workers, often unable to find a partner. Those who emerge from special forces, possessing specialized skills, fare slightly better, as they can secure positions as bodyguards, earning a decent income to support their families. However, the current market is also sluggish, making it challenging to sustain such a large workforce. And the company's finances are increasingly strained. The price of 680,000 is already quite favorable. Long Lily quietly remarked, Wang Xiao. G&S qualifications are undoubtedly sound. They are duly registered with the Ministry of Public Security. In terms of cost-effectiveness, G&S quotation is reasonable within the industry. For security teams of similar caliber, other companies charge higher rates and may not even provide as comprehensive follow-up services. When you pondered for a moment, gently patting Lung Feng on the shoulder before turning to Manager Lin, stating, let us secure them for a year. Please process the payment. Manager Lin's eyes widened in astonishment. A year. It had been ages since such a substantial order was placed. His face radiated surprise. And after a brief moment of shock, he quickly responded, absolutely, Wang Xiao. Your generosity is truly remarkable. I will promptly prepare the necessary documents. With that, Manager Lin hurriedly exited the meeting room. Shortly thereafter, he returned with a stack of documents and a payment terminal. Wang Xiao, the annual fee amounts to 8,160,000. I'll offer a discount, so we'll settle at 8 million. Let us consider ourselves friends. Please take a look. He extended the documents to Wang Yu. Wang Yu examined the relevant service terms closely and nodded, saying, "Let us proceed with the payment." Manager Lin felt a surge of joy and hastily retrieved the terminal, his hands trembling slightly as he presented it to Wang Yu, his eyes fixated on the transaction, as if fearing the deal might fall through. Upon successful payment, a notification chimed. Ding. The system has detected that the host has spent 8,000,000. Double cashback is 16,000,000. Ding. Congratulations. The host has earned 800 system points. Only when the confirmation beep resonated did Manager Lin exhale in relief, his face beaming with gratitude. Wang Xiao, I cannot thank you enough. Rest assured, from this moment on, the Wolf Tooth team will be at your service around the clock, ensuring your utmost satisfaction. Lung Feng stepped forward, standing tall and saluting with precision. With unwavering determination, he addressed Wang Yu. Wang Xiao, we are grateful for your trust. The Wolf Tooth team vows to defend your safety at all costs, undeterred by any challenges. Undeterred by any challenges, echoed the other 5 team members in unison, their voices resonating powerfully within the reception area. Once the formalities were concluded, Wang Yu and Long Lily prepared to depart. Manager Lin jogged ahead, leading them to the company entrance. Throughout the journey, he incessantly expressed his gratitude and assured them of impeccable follow-up service, occasionally turning to introduce Wang Yu to the company's other security facilities, showcasing his eagerness to please. Upon reaching the LaFerrari, Manager Lin personally opened the door for Wang Yu, saying, Young Master Wang, please take care. Should you require anything in the future, do not hesitate to contact me. Meanwhile, the Wolf Feng team sprang into action with impeccable coordination. At Captain Lung Feng's command, 2 members dashed to the parking lot to retrieve the pre-prepared security vehicles. Equipped with state-of-the-art communication devices, protective gear, and emergency rescue tools, the remaining 3 swiftly returned to the company's armory to collect specialized bulletproof vests and close combat weapons. Adeptly donning their gear, Captain Lung Feng remained at the entrance, meticulously inspecting his walkie-talkie, bulletproof vest, and other essential equipment to ensure absolute preparedness. He then halted Wang Yu, who was about to enter the vehicle, and said, Young Master Wang, please hold on a moment while I conduct a check. Wang Yu paused, curiosity piqued as he watched Lung Feng examine the car. Lung Feng proceeded to conduct a thorough inspection of the LaFerrari, scrutinizing every minute crevice for potential concealed threats. Subsequently, he lifted the hood and, utilizing his professional knowledge and experience, inspected the engine and wiring, occasionally testing the temperature and listening to the operational sounds. After a brief moment, Lung Feng rose and faced Wang Yu, confidently reporting, Young Master Wang, the vehicle is in perfect condition and ready for a safe journey. Wang Yu, observing the proceedings, nodded slightly, secretly admiring the professionalism exhibited by the Wolf Feng team. He turned to Long Lily, a smile gracing his lips as he remarked, This expenditure is indeed worthwhile. I feel considerably more at ease about tomorrow's trip to the international waters. After all, they are professionals, Long Lily replied. Manager Lin smiled in agreement, adding, Your safety is of utmost importance, Young Master Wang. With the Wolf Feng team providing protection, you can venture forth without worry. With that reassurance, Wang Yu settled into the LaFerrari. Seeing this, Lung Feng quickly commanded his team to take their positions. In both vehicles, security personnel remained vigilant, ever watchful of their surroundings. As the engine of the LaFerrari roared to life, the convoy gradually departed from the Jian Company, heading towards the Sky Palace. Chapter 55. A benefactor in life. Upon returning to the Sky Palace, Wang Yu discovered that Zhang Ro was no longer in the bedroom, having left a message on Fei Xin that she was shopping in the mall. Under Captain Lung Feng's direction, the Wolf Feng team meticulously inspected the Sky Palace to ensure everything was in order before leaving 2 members on duty at the entrance while the rest returned to the vehicle, ready to respond at a moment's notice. Wang Yu pondered for a moment and said to Long Lily, Lily, please contact the sales manager of Kafko Hai Jingno. And arrange to purchase an apartment downstairs. Why buy an apartment? Long Lily inquired, intrigued. It's not ideal for them to remain in the vehicle indefinitely. If something were to happen, by the time they arrive, it would be too late. The future is long. I'll just buy a few more units. All right, I'll reach out to him right away. Long Lily thought to herself, feeling exasperated. What a prodigal son, purchasing apartments in Kafko Haijing #1 for the bodyguards. Such extravagance. Before long, Manager Xiao of Kafko Haijing rushed in with a lively smile illuminating his face, slightly bowing as he respectfully inquired, "Mr. Wong, it has been quite a while. Do you remember me? I am the sales manager of Kofco Haijing Yiyuan. Of course, I remember you. We met just a few days ago. You're Xiao Yan, right?" Wang Yao replied casually. "That's right. I'm glad you remember. May I ask why you summoned me today?" Manager Xiao asked, wiping the beads of sweat from his forehead, his smile unwavering. It was imperative for someone in his position to tread carefully around such a significant figure. Wang Yao replied nonchalantly, "How many units are still unsold on the floor below?" A spark of realization ignited in Manager Zhao's eyes. Could it be that this esteemed gentleman intended to purchase more property? Regaining his composure, he elaborated, "Mr. Wong, there's a 210 square meter 3-bedroom unit available below, facing south with exquisite renovations, ready for immediate occupancy. Additionally, there are 2 approximately 300 square meter 4-bedroom, 2 living room units with excellent lighting and stunning views of the night skyline of the metropolis. There is also a 300 square meter 3-bedroom unit available on the 43rd floor." Listening intently, Wang Yao nodded slightly before gesturing. "That will suffice. I will take all the available units on the 2 lower floors. Please provide me with a preferential price and prepare the necessary paperwork." The words left Manager Xiao momentarily stunned, his eyes widening in disbelief. He had never anticipated such a grand gesture from Wang Yao, directly opting to acquire all the available units on 2 floors. Recovering quickly, the astonishment on his face transformed into uncontainable joy, his voice trembling with excitement. "Mr. Wong, you are truly generous. I will promptly prepare the relevant documents. I assure you, I will secure the best possible price for you. Kindly wait a moment. I will return immediately." As he spoke, Manager Xiao hurriedly exited the room, his pace quicker than when he arrived, as if fearing that Wang Yao might reconsider. Before long, Manager Xiao returned to the Tianmu Palace with several colleagues. Holding a quotation sheet which he presented to Wang Yao, "Mr. Wong, please take a look. There are 4 unsold units on the lower floors, totaling 232 square meters, priced at 1.66 million per square meter, amounting to a total of 204,512,000. However, as our most esteemed guest at Kofco Haijing Yuan, I have managed to secure a 7 discount for you, bringing the total down to 190,000,000, which includes complimentary parking and a waiver of property fees for 5 years. This is our utmost sincerity. What do you think?" Wang Yao nodded in response, producing his bank card, stating, "Charge it, full payment. I will expedite the process for you, ensuring the property deed is delivered to you as swiftly as possible." Manager Xiao replied, taking a deep breath as he accepted the bank card with trembling hands. With Manager Zhao's directives, the entire sales team sprang into action, working with remarkable efficiency. 2.5 hours later, Wang Yao completed the signing of the contract. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, he entered the password on the machine. With the successful transaction, a notification chime echoed in Wang Yu's mind. Ding! The system has detected that the host has spent 190,000,000, resulting in a double cashback of 380,000,000. Ding! Congratulations to the host for earning 19,000 system points. Manager Xiao approached with a beaming smile, expressing his gratitude. "Thank you, young Master Wong, for your continued support of our Zhongliang Haijing No. 1. Your satisfaction during your stay here is our greatest honor." He regarded Wang Yu as a benefactor of his life. Houses that had languished unsold for 6 months were swiftly purchased by Wang Yu in just a few days. 5 in total, all spacious units. He refrained from declaring, "Congratulations on becoming a distinguished member of Zhongliang Haijing No. 1, as that would be a disservice to Wang Yu's esteemed status." It was likely that the entire Zhongliang Haijing No. 1 could not match the nobility of Wang Yu's identity. After years in sales, Manager Xiao had finally witnessed what true wealth looked like. Purchasing property was akin to buying cabbages. Even after acquiring 4 units, Wang Yu felt it insufficient. With so many women to consider, he decided to purchase a few more today to avoid future complications. He pulled the still-dazed Long Lily along, driving his Ferrari LaFerrari out of Zhongliang Haijing No. 1. Soon after, he acquired a unit in the nearby Tangchun Pin, a modest 300 square meter apartment priced around 200,000 per square meter, amounting to 63,000,000 after discounts. Subsequently, he visited Binhai, Kaikshuamen, and Feizue Binhai, purchasing a unit in each, all compact in size, totaling over 700 square meters, with an overall expenditure of 13.1 billion. Since he intended to maintain several canaries, he needed to secure multiple residences, spaced apart to prevent unnecessary turmoil. Ding! The system has detected that the host has spent 19.4 billion, resulting in a double cashback of 38.8 billion. Ding! Congratulations to the host for earning 19,400 system points. System, open the personal panel. A faint blue screen materialized before Wang Yu. Host, Wang Yu, age, 20, height, 188 centimeters, charm, 92, physique, 120, the normal limit is 100, endurance, 120, the normal limit is 100, attributes, double cashback. Effect, all reasonable expenditures will be refunded at double the amount. Ultimate physique, effect, from this moment on, you are the pinnacle of human physicality. Fixation, effect, eye of truth, effect, joy of the machine spirit. Points, 47, 357. Huaxia currency, 7, 560, 506, 206. Wang Yu gazed at the astonishing figures displayed on the screen, filled with a profound tranquility. 75 billion. Once, these astronomical figures were merely distant dreams for him, yet now they stand vividly before him. A smile involuntarily graced his lips. This sensation is indeed quite addictive, Wang Yu murmured to himself. The brilliance in his eyes burned so intensely it seemed capable of igniting the very air. Wang Yu turned to glance at the somewhat bewildered Long Lily beside him, and the smile on his face deepened. With a beautiful companion at his side and wealth overflowing in his account, the days ahead promised to be a lavish revelry, a euphoric celebration of opulence. Chapter 56. Brazen and unashamed as the lights began to twinkle and the night enveloped the city like ink. Wang Yu and Long Lily completed their formalities and returned to the Tianmu Palace, where the night had quietly descended. At the entrance of the palace, two imposing bodyguards, with stern gazes, stood like statues dutifully on guard. Upon Wang Yu's arrival, one of the bodyguards slightly bowed, addressing him as young Master Wang. Wang Yu nodded and stepped into the palace. The interior was tranquil, as Zhang Ro had yet to return from her shopping. The Wolfang squad had already been assigned to reside in a spacious 4-bedroom apartment on the 44th floor beneath him, ensuring a swift response if needed. Lily, why have you been standing at the window for so long? Wang Yu inquired, noticing Long Lily lost in the mesmerizing nightscape, her figure graceful and alluring. It's simply breathtaking, Long Lily replied, her enchanting eyes reflecting a hint of dazzle. The night here is so beautiful. It's only when I stand here that I truly feel the charm of this magical city. If you adore here, then you should reside here, Wang Yu said, a knowing smile playing on his lips. Me? Live here? You must be joking. Long Lily stiffened, a slightly awkward smile escaping her lips. She understood the deeper meaning behind Wang Yu's words. Being adults, how could she not comprehend? A faint blush crept upon her cheeks, and her heart began to race. I am not jesting. The doors here are always open for you, Wang Yu said with a calm smile, his tone earnest. You must have a girlfriend, right? Long Lily asked instinctively. After all, a wealthy young man like Wang Yu would not lack romantic interests, especially given his youth and striking looks. After posing the question, she hastily averted her gaze, her heartbeat quickening. A wave of joy surged within her. Wang Yu's words indicated that her allure had garnered his recognition. To be favored by a man of such quality as Wang Yu is a source of delight for any woman. Indeed, women adorn themselves for those they cherish. Yes, I have many girlfriends, not just one, Wang Yu replied nonchalantly, raising his hands in a gesture of indifference. Upon hearing this, Long Lily could not suppress her shyness any longer. She lifted her head, astonished, gazing at Wang Yu. She had never encountered someone so brazenly unashamed. Wang Yu spoke of his numerous girlfriends with such ease, his expression unchanged, as if it were a matter of course. While Long Lily had been envisioning a life together with Wang Yu, it now seemed she couldn't even aspire to be the third party. Perhaps the fourth? Or even the fifth? Long Lily gazed at Wang Yu with a complex expression. She aspired to ascend the ranks and become a phoenix. Yet she had never envisioned herself as a mere subordinate. Wang Yu stood before the panoramic wall, hands clasped behind his back, his voice deep and resonant as he remarked, "Do you know that in this world, some individuals are born at the pinnacle of the pyramid, looking down upon the masses?" Long Lily nodded in agreement. There's a saying online that rings true. If you are born without the means to drive a Rolls-Royce, the likelihood of ever doing so is slim. A decade of arduous study cannot compete with a legacy of 3 generations of business acumen. The resources of society are inevitably concentrated in the hands of a select few. To ascend, one must always pay a price. A hint of bitterness crossed Long Lily's face. Although Wang Yu's words were harsh, they resonated with an unsettling truth. You are correct, but matters of the heart cannot be equated with such realities, Long Lily softly countered. Ha! Aren't high-quality men and women also a form of resource? Wang Yu retorted, turning to gaze intently at her. Regardless of gender, premium resources do not belong to the lower echelons. His words struck a nerve, rendering Long Lily momentarily speechless, unable to retort. Wang Yu stepped closer, gently encircling Long Lily's slender waist. She shivered slightly but did not resist. Instead, she lowered her gaze and said weakly, Wang Yu, please don't do this. I'm a bank employee, and you're my boss. We cannot proceed like this. I could be dismissed. Look at President Liu. Would he dare? He replied. Besides, being dismissed wouldn't matter. I could use someone as competent as you as my secretary when I start my own company. Long Lily raised her eyes, her large, glistening orbs reflecting Wang Yu's visage. Wang Yu leaned in slowly. As Long Lily's eyes fluttered shut, her breath grew heavy, her lashes trembling like butterfly wings. Instinctively, her arms encircled Wang Yu. Time seemed to stand still. The cacophony of the world faded away, leaving only the chaotic symphony of their intertwined heartbeats. Long Lily felt her mind go blank, her body weak. She could only respond instinctively, their breaths mingling like a sweet poison that enveloped her completely. Minutes later, Long Lily, flustered, pushed Wang Yu away, her cheeks flushed and her gaze evasive. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed right now. Let me go home and think it over. You need to accompany me. With that, she turned to leave. Wang Yu quickly interjected, you can stay in a 3-bedroom apartment downstairs. After all, you are my personal banker. It would be convenient for you to provide me with round-the-clock service. Very well, Long Lily bit her lip, ultimately unable to refuse. Having said that, she hurriedly exited the Tianmu Palace. Wang Yu watched her retreating figure with an expression of indifference. Deep down, Long Lily had already accepted her feelings. His earlier remarks were merely a means to ease her into the situation. Women are often creatures of mixed signals. The bait had been cast. Now, all Wang Yu needed to do was wait patiently. He had ample time. Before long, Zhang Ro returned from shopping. Upon seeing 2 tall and stern-looking bodyguards stationed at the entrance, she momentarily froze, her eyes filled with confusion. The bodyguards, aware of her identity, slightly stepped aside to allow her passage. Zhang Ro hesitated for a moment before entering, and upon spotting Wang Yu, she immediately inquired, Darling, why are there 2 more bodyguards at the door? Wang Yu raised his gaze and calmly explained, they were just arranged this afternoon. From now on, they will be stationed here, on a 24-hour rotation, prepare to handle any unexpected situations. Zhang Ro nodded slightly, still curious, but refraining from further questioning. She then began to organize the various shopping spoils she had collected. Wang Yu approached, observing Zhang Ro's busy figure, and gently remarked, Did you enjoy your shopping today? Yes. I bought some things I like, but shopping can be quite exhausting, Zhang Ro replied with a bright smile. I felt so bored after you left that I had no choice but to go shopping. You didn't accompany me. A subtle smile graced Wang Yu's lips as he took out his phone and, in her presence, performed a few operations. To make it up to you, I've transferred 300,000. Feel free to buy whatever you desire. Don't worry about the money, as long as you are happy. Ding. The system has detected a consumption of 300,000 by the host, with a double cashback of 600,000. Ding. Congratulations to the host for receiving 30 system points. Zhang Ro's phone chimed, and upon seeing the transfer notification, her eyes widened in surprise and delight. Darling, you spoil me too much. Wang Yu gently wrapped his arms around her waist and whispered in her ear, You deserve it. The warmth of his breath brushed against Zhang Ro's neck, causing her cheeks to flush. That night, the moonlight poured in like water. Wang Yu and Zhang Ro lay entwined in each other's arms, enveloped in a moment of intimacy that was both tender and passionate. As their fervor faded, Zhang Ro nestled into Wang Yu's embrace, a satisfied smile gracing her lips as she drifted into a deep slumber. Chapter 57. Just a small business. Golden rays of sunlight streamed through the delicate gauzy curtains, silently infiltrating the bedroom and illuminating Wang Yu's face. He awoke bleary-eyed. Under the warm sunlight, lazily reaching for his phone on the bedside, he noticed the screen lit up, revealing that it was already 12:30. Numerous messages had popped up on Fei Xin, detailing the address and time for today's gathering, which Wang Xizong had sent 2 hours earlier. Wang Yu turned over, tidying up the disheveled bed before slipping on his trousers and shuffling to the bedroom door. He then returned to the bedside and gently nudged the still sleeping Zhang Ro. However, she remained unresponsive, only furrowing her brow slightly and mumbling some incoherent words in her dreams before rolling over and falling back into a deep sleep. Wang Yu chuckled softly, a mix of exasperation and affection evident in his smile, and chose not to disturb her further. After refreshing himself in the shower, he made his way downstairs alone to the nearby popular restaurant, Shibei Yao Mian Siyuan, for a meal. Known for its northwestern cuisine, Shibei Yao Mian Siyuan prepared dishes simply, ensuring the ingredients retained their original flavors. Wang Yu ordered several signature dishes: roasted lamb chops, Mongolian beef ribs, skewered lamb, yellow rice pudding, and Shibei gluten, among others. Tender and juicy roasted lamb chops exude an irresistible aroma. The robust Mongolian beef bones offer a gratifying experience when savored. The authentic northwestern cuisine left Wang Yu relishing each bite, his lips glistening with delight. After a sumptuous meal, he thoughtfully packed a portion for Zhang Ro, anticipating her enjoyment upon awakening. The total expense amounted to 688 yuan. At 2:30 in the afternoon, by the banks of the Huangpu River, sunlight danced upon the shimmering surface, casting delicate golden glimmers that mirrored the vibrancy of the bustling shore. Suddenly, a red LaFerrari sped into the private yacht dock, driven by Wang Yu, with the cold front and 2 bodyguards following closely behind. As Wang Yu alighted from the vehicle, poised to call Wang Sikong, a distinctive shout echoed from afar. "Wang Yu, over here!" Upon looking up, Wang Yu spotted a magnificent 3-tiered luxury yacht moored at a nearby dock. Its pristine white exterior glistened in the sunlight, surrounded by several elegantly dressed individuals. A group of bodyguards clad in black suits dispersed around the area. Wang Sikong approached briskly. "Wang Yu, you finally made it. We've been waiting for you. Isn't it still a bit early? It's only 2:30. Wang Yu glanced at his Vacheron Constantin watch and replied nonchalantly, "Indeed, quite punctual, aren't I?" Wang Sitsung's gaze was instantly drawn to the LaFerrari, filled with envy. "LaFerrari? Have you changed cars again?" "Just purchased it yesterday," Wang Yu replied, as Wang Sikong, brimming with admiration, playfully punched his shoulder. "Wow, so solid. You must be quite the character," he remarked, then glanced at Wang Yu's wrist with surprise. "The Vacheron Constantin M. Tiersdar? You recognize it?" Wang Yu raised an eyebrow, taken aback. "I didn't know you had an interest in watches. Do you think I'm some uncultured bumpkin?" Wang Sikong retorted with a mock lament. "I have quite the collection, including the Vacheron Constantin M. Tiersdar series valued at 20 million. It seems you also have a penchant for timepieces." Wang Sikong was not surprised. Many wealthy heirs pursue such possessions. Beautiful women, luxury cars, and renowned watches. How commonplace. The less affluent may indulge in cars, but the affluent revel in watches. The value of a watch can reach extraordinary heights, unlike automobiles. "Well, I prefer supercars over watches, though I do appreciate limited edition timepieces," Wang Yu replied mildly. Wang Sikong felt a kinship with Wang Yu's taste. Excitedly, he draped an arm over Wang Yu's shoulder. "Come, let me introduce you to some friends. You come at the right time. Prepare to be dazzled." With an air of intrigue, he winked at Wang Yu as they strolled towards the dock. "This is my good brother, Wang Yu. He is from my hometown, Chengdu. Everyone, please make his acquaintance." Wang Sikong pointed at Wang Yu and introduced him to the crowd, saying, "Do not be deceived by his youth. His family is no less affluent than mine. The Xianfeng Heavy Industry Group belongs to him." Upon hearing this, the attendees exchanged glances, their eyes glimmering with intrigue. The Xianfeng Heavy Industry Group. Who in Huagua has not heard of it? Its industrial scope spans numerous fields. Undeniably a colossal figure in the industry. Several individuals rushed forward to greet Wang Yu as Wang Sikong smiled and introduced him to each one. He gestured towards a young man clad in a black short-sleeved shirt, who stood at 180 centimeters yet was as lean as a monkey, saying, "This is Chun Su from Luzhou. His family is in logistics and shares your passion for supercars." "Hello, buddy." Chun Su, evidently a sociable character, approached Wang Yu with a broad smile, devoid of any airs of a wealthy heir. "Hello," Wang Yu replied, returning the smile and nodding. "Wow, a Vacheron Constantin, if I'm not mistaken. That watch is worth nearly 20 million, right?" Chun Su's attention was immediately drawn to the watch on Wang Yu's wrist, and he raised an eyebrow. "I've always wanted to buy this watch, but unfortunately, my funds fall short. 1,800, not quite 2,000, Wang Yu added. "That is still incredibly expensive," Chun Su exclaimed, clicking his tongue in envy. "No wonder it's the Xianfeng Heavy Industry Group. The cash flow is substantial. When I was 20, I yearned for a Lamborghini, but my family was utterly opposed. It took a great deal of persuasion for them to finally agree." Wang Sikong placed an arm around Wang Yu's shoulder, teasingly remarking, What SA Lamborghini compared to him? Last time he drove a McLaren 1, and today he arrives in a Ferrari LaFerrari. Chen Su's expression immediately fell, and he lamented, "Why is the gap between people so vast? I might as well compete with you wealthy folks. Just a small enterprise, nothing to be concerned about." Wang Yu waved his hand dismissively. Chen Su's eyes widened in disbelief. By your logic, does that mean a cigarette manufacturer qualifies as a small enterprise? Precisely, chimed in a plump man nearby, whose cheerful demeanor was particularly endearing. To be fair, cigarette companies are indeed small enterprises. Few people are aware of this. Wow, Chen Su exclaimed, pulling out his phone to look it up. After reading, he couldn't help but comment, "It's true." The plump man then turned to Wang Yu, saying, "If I recall correctly, Huayao Group also belongs to your family, right?" "Just a small business," Wang Yu responded, shaking his head repeatedly, excessively modest. "Buddy, if you keep being this humble, it might come off as pretentious," Chen Su said with a look of playful reproach. The crowd erupted in laughter at Chen Su's antics. Wang Yu joined in the merriment, waving his hand and saying, "Let us keep it low-key." Chen Su was undeniably a lively character, and with him present, the atmosphere brightened considerably. "This is Li Xiang from Jinling. His family is in finance." Wang Xikong continued to introduce the previously mentioned plump man to Wang Yu. With a friendly smile, the plump man extended his hand towards Wang Yu, saying, "Young Master Wang, a pleasure to meet you." Wang Yu shook his hand and replied, "Hello. This individual should be well known to you. He has long dominated the internet's trending searches." As Wang Xikong spoke, he gestured towards another young man. This young man, although slightly slender, exuded a unique charm, standing approximately 1.7 meters tall, with tattoos and ear studs that showcased his distinctive personality. The young man looked towards Wang Yu, who, upon noticing, smiled and nodded in acknowledgement, remarking, "Of course I know him. He has quite the sensation online. It would be hard not to." The young man returned the smile, appearing quite amiable, and extended his hand, saying, "Hello, I am Qin Fun." Before them stood this tattooed youth, known as the Emperor of Shanghai in the vibrant city of Magic Capital. In 2018, his fame soared, fueled by rumors of lavish spending and flirtations with internet celebrities. Notably, a photo of him sitting calmly in a wrecked Porsche 918, engrossed in his phone amidst the rain, became etched in the minds of countless netizens, propelling him to viral stardom. With his privileged background and reasonably handsome appearance, Qin Fan became a prince charming in the eyes of many young women online. However, his background was shrouded in speculation and various rumors. Some claimed that his father was a shareholder in the Macau David Group, while others suggested he owned casinos, real estate firms, and financial companies in Macau. The Qin family's annual cash flow reportedly reached hundreds of billions of Chinese yuan, indicating substantial wealth. Some even drew comparisons between him and the son of the richest man, Wang Xikong. Yet Wang Yu understood that much of this was mere hearsay. Qin Fan's background was not as enigmatic as it seemed. Before his rebirth, the truth about Qin Fan's family background had already been uncovered. The previous generation of the Qin family had amassed wealth through gambling, gradually leveraging established connections to build a vast commercial empire that spanned numerous industries. In this era, the origins of a hero are often overlooked, and wealth, connections, and resources are deemed the true assets. "Hello, Emperor Shanghai. I am Wang Yu," he said with a smile as he shook Qin Fan's hand, adding a playful quip. Qin Fan quickly waved his hand in dismissal, saying, "Please do not jest. I do not deserve such a title. It's all just fabrications from netizens. There are many far more impressive than I in Magic Capital. I merely have a little more financial leeway than the average person." He continued, "Let us not even mention Wang. Individuals like Chen Su and Li Xiang are wealthier than I." Chen Su, unable to contain himself, interjected, "I've noticed you wealthy individuals all seem so modest. It's as if you all try to outdo each other in humility. First, there's Wang Yu with his small enterprise, and then there's Qin Fan, who claims to be just slightly better off than the average person. So, it seems that only Li Xiang and I are truly wealthy." Qin Fan retorted with a hint of irritation. "What do you mean by you wealthy people? Your family is inherently richer than mine. My modest ventures hardly compare. I'm just earning a meager income." Chen Su chuckled and replied, "You truly are skilled in banter. You're the one who can boast the most." Qin Fan cast a fleeting glance at Chen Su before turning to Wang Yu and introducing him. His family owns the largest logistics company in Luzhou, with a fleet of over 1,000 trucks. Subsequently, Wang Xikong introduced 3 more individuals to Wang Yu. One was Su Yuza, whose family was engaged in real estate in the bustling metropolis. Another was Lin Hao, who worked in the retail industry, and the last was Wei Jinglan, who was involved in foreign trade. Let us board the vessel, Wang Xikong suggested once the introductions were complete. The time is nearly upon us, and there will be activities aboard shortly. What activities? Wang Yu inquired, gazing at the yacht that lay docked before them. You shall soon find out, Wang Xikong replied, raising an eyebrow and feigning an air of mystery. The auction will take place this evening. We still have ample time before we head over. Upon hearing this, Wang Yu felt a swell of anticipation. In Hollywood films, it is often depicted that wealthy heirs embark on maritime escapades, surrounded by models clad in bikinis, indulging in champagne and barbecues, reveling in extravagant festivities. However, he wondered what kind of activities Wang Xikong had in mind. That depends on your arrangements, Wang Yu chuckled. Otherwise, I must admit, I lack the enthusiasm to set sail with you gentlemen. It appears we are kindred spirits. Let us converse thoroughly once aboard, Qin Fen remarked, his tone noticeably warmer. In his past life, it was rumored online that Qin Fen's romantic life was tumultuous, filled with entanglements with numerous internet celebrities. It seemed that such rumors were not entirely unfounded. Wang Yu, your words wound the hearts of brothers, Wang Xikong lamented, a look of mock sorrow on his face. Women are merely embellishments. True joy lies in camaraderie with friends. Come on, old Wang, behave yourself, Qin Fen retorted with a look of disdain. Turning to Wang Yu to warn, be cautious of old Wang. With your striking looks and youth, one can never tell his inclinations. Indeed, should such rumors circulate online, your reputation would be irrevocably tarnished. Chen Su chimed in supportively from the side. Alarmed, Wang Yu took a few steps back, regarding Wang Xikong warily. Old Wang, what is the meaning of this? Though we hail from Jincheng, I assure you, I am straight. Wang Xikong appeared utterly disheartened, feeling as though he were caught in a predicament, unable to find a way out. After a prolonged moment, he finally exclaimed, for heaven's sake, in broad daylight, how dare you tarnish my reputation? The group continued their banter and laughter as they approached the yacht, followed closely by the bodyguards of Lung Feng and his companions, who remained steadfastly at their heels. Upon boarding the yacht, the gleaming teak floor reflected the figures of the group, while the interior was resplendent, adorned with dazzling crystal chandeliers, plush leather sofas, and exquisite artistic paintings gracing the walls. Standing on the deck, Wang Yu gazed quietly at the scenery along the banks of the Huangpu River. The daylight ambience differed from that of night, filled with a certain vibrancy, yet lacking the opulent grandeur of evening. As the yacht gently set sail, the deep rumble of the engine reverberated throughout the dock. The breeze by the river gently caressed, carrying with it the refreshing scent of the ocean, alleviating the oppressive heat of summer. The yacht swiftly glided to the center of the river, then began to turn its bow towards the East China Sea. It wasn't until no other vessels were visible within sight that the yacht gradually increased its speed. The waves rhythmically lapped against the hull, creating layers of white foam. The sun poured down unreservedly, penetrating the water to reveal the sandy seabed, swaying seaweed, and the vibrant little fish darting among them, all laid bare before the eyes. A flock of seagulls soared overhead, their pristine wings glimmering under the sunlight. They stretched their wings gracefully, gliding effortlessly, occasionally flapping briefly and emitting crisp calls. Some seagulls playfully skimmed the surface of the water, their sharp beaks occasionally tapping the sea, sending up sparkling droplets. They then soared high into the azure sky. For Wang Yu, who hailed from the mountains, this scene was indeed breathtaking. The boundless sea stretched endlessly to the horizon, starkly contrasting with the limited vista encircled by mountains. It is often said that only the grandeur of mountains and the vastness of the sea can broaden a man's horizons. The more one sees, the wider one's perspective becomes, naturally leading to greater aspirations. This sentiment rings true. Chapter 59. Yacht Revelry. When does the auction commence? Wang Yu inquired of Wang Xikong, standing on the yacht's deck. It begins at 9 in the evening, so there's no need to rush, Wang Xikong replied with a mischievous smile, casting a knowing glance at Chen Su. Chen nodded with a chuckle, rising from his lounge chair and making his way to the deck stairs. He leaned over to call down into the cabin below. Instantly, the sound of high heels clicking echoed from within. Following that, a group of over 10 remarkably attractive young women, each scoring above 80 in looks and figure, emerged clad in bikinis. One by one, they paraded before Wang Yu and the others, smiling as they lined up on the deck before them. In an instant, the surrounding sea breeze seemed infused with the fragrance of the girls. Each figure was irresistibly alluring, with delicate waists that seemed fragile yet artfully sculpted, accentuating their sensual curves. Flowing down from their flat abdomens were perfectly rounded hips, appearing even more enticing under the embrace of their bikinis. Their fair skin shimmered with a subtle sheen under the sun's rays. Standing side by side, they exuded an irresistible charm, whether alluring or innocent. You prepare this too? Su Yuza remarked, somewhat surprised at Wang Xikong. He had not anticipated such a captivating scene. Of course, Wang Xikong replied, his face beaming with pride. Fortunately, I arranged this event in advance. Otherwise, who knows how you lot would have described us after disembarking. If this gets out, how would I ever show my face again? How does my arrangement appear? Surely it has silenced your chatter. Should any rumors arise later, I shall ensure you face the consequences. Qin Fen reclined lazily in his chair, stroking his chin, and remarked to Wang Yu at his side, it seems a tad insufficient with just these few individuals. I concur. Wang Yu nodded in agreement. There aren't enough to share among us. If the foreigners next door catch a glimpse of this, they might think we cannot afford to play. Wang Yu nodded again, playing along. Indeed, tonight, we host the wealthiest individuals from across Asia. Old Wang, are you perhaps being a bit petty? Chun Su chimed in with a mischievous grin. Since Old Wang displays such a lack of sincerity, we shall not hold back. We'll spread the word online that Old Wang is inclined towards the same sex, ensuring those ladies keep their distance. At this moment, the chubby fellow quietly remarked, what if this inadvertently fulfills Old Wang's desires? The room fell into silence before erupting into laughter moments later. Come on, you all are my dear brothers. Don't put me in such a predicament, Wang Xikong lamented, his expression one of indignation. Chubby, we've known each other for years. How could you do this to me? When you had just arrived, and already they conspired against him? This simply cannot stand. The chubby fellow shook his head. We are brothers, dear friends. Surely, a bit more money is required. Chun Su echoed his sentiment. The group exchanged glances, then burst into hearty laughter at Wang Xizong's expense. All right, enough of this, Qin Fen interjected seriously. If this continues, Old Wang may feel compelled to demonstrate something right here, and I have no desire for any unfortunate consequences. Wang Xikong shot a glare at Qin Fen and turned to Wang Yu, saying, Wang Yu, you choose to first. They shall accompany you shortly. Having been raised among the elite, they were accustomed to such scenes and felt no urgency. Wang Yu, without pretension, began assessing the lineup of girls before him. He casually selected two. One was tall and slender, exuding a pure beauty with her long, straight legs. The other was voluptuous, with prominent curves, particularly her striking bosom, which drew attention. These two will do. Upon being chosen, the girls' eyes brightened instantly, their faces adorned with smiles as they approached Wang Yu without needing any prompting. The other girls on the deck observed with a tinge of envy. They were well aware of the status of those present, knowing that serving them would lead to generous rewards. Among them, Wang Yu stood out, his handsome features coupled with an imposing height of 188 centimeters, making him irresistible to the ladies. To accompany such a charming and affluent second-generation heir was undoubtedly more desirable than being with anyone else. You got good taste, Wang Xikong complimented as he regarded the girls Wang Yu selected. He was pleased with the choice, realizing they shared a similar preference and vibe. Wang Xikong immediately introduced the girl standing before him. This is Wang Yu. You may call him Young Master Yu. He is my brother. Treat him well, and he shall reward you generously. The two girls nodded obediently, swaying gracefully as they approached Wang Yu, eagerly wrapping their arms around his. The innocent-looking girl said, You could just call me Lele, and I'm Tang Tang. The girl with a more pronounced demeanor chimed in sweetly. Wang Yu smiled, pulling both of them into his embrace. Lele appeared somewhat bashful, yet offered no resistance, nestling comfortably against him like a delicate bird. Tang Tang, on the other hand, nestled closer, and the more exuberant girl pressed herself tightly against Wang Yu. Their presence on the yacht was entirely voluntary. They were well aware of their roles. Once Wang Yu had made his selections, Wang Xikong and Qin Fen began to choose their favorite girls, followed by Chun Su and Li Xiang. Although their banter was filled with joy, the subtlety of the situation revealed the underlying hierarchy. This was Wang Yu's first foray into their circle, and thus he was granted the privilege of first choice. Wang Xikong and Qin Fen occupied the highest positions within this social stratum, embodying the role of leaders. In society, the stratification among individuals is starkly defined, particularly among the wealthy elite, where class distinctions are even more pronounced. Let us go and unwind. Qin Fen beckoned to Wang Yu, casually draping an arm around a stunning blonde in a bikini. Following suit, Wang Yu made his way to the front deck of the yacht, where a small swimming pool awaited, accompanied by an array of water guns and fishing rods. In the sweltering summer heat, particularly out at sea, aquatic play was a must. Qin Fun and the others filled their water guns with water and exchanged mischievous glances before aiming at the girls. Instantly, the scant fabric clinging to the girls became soaked, hinting at their silhouettes beneath. "Oh dear, Qin Xiao, you're so wicked," laughed one girl, while another playfully protested. "How naughty, Chun Xiao." The girls giggled, often twisting away to evade the water. The yacht transformed into a scene of exuberance, breathtaking in its beauty. Witnessing this spectacle, Wang Yu found himself contemplating the purchase of a yacht, inviting a few close friends for a day at sea, surrounded by blue skies, white clouds, the vast ocean. Beautiful women, champagne, and barbecues would undoubtedly be a grand indulgence. "Young master, why don't you join the fun?" Tang Tang inquired curiously, noticing Wang Yu standing aside. "What? Do you want to join?" Wang Yu raised an eyebrow and replied. Lei Lei glanced at a girl by the poolside, whose charming smile belied her slightly awkward position, and quickly shook her head. "I'd rather stay by your side. Wherever you go, I will follow." Tang Tang, her eyes sparkling, echoed, "Whatever you say, young master you. I'll remain by your side." Wang Yu nodded, smiling quietly, choosing not to elaborate further. The sea breeze carried the unique fragrance of the ocean, intensifying the intoxicating atmosphere that enveloped the surroundings. At that moment, bodyguards were strategically positioned around, their expressions stern and vigilant, ever watchful for any signs of disturbance. Contrasting sharply with the revelry and laughter at the center of the deck, Wang Sikong sank into the plush sofa, snapping his fingers at a nearby attendant. The attendant, understanding the cue, promptly presented a meticulously crafted cocktail. Wang Sikong lifted the cocktail, swirling it gently, and called out to Wang Yu, who was not far off. "Wang Yu, are you enjoying yourself on my ship? Have I arranged everything to your liking?" With the principal's generosity, this is quite the lavish affair. Wang Yu slightly turned, a smile gracing his lips. Wang Sikong erupted in laughter, rising to his feet and casually grabbing a bottle of champagne. Indeed, when out for fun, one must indulge. With that, he violently popped the cork, spraying the bubbly in the direction of the crowd. "Oh, how annoying. He, do it again." The champagne foam scattered through the air, mingling with the shrieks of delight and laughter from the girls, elevating the vibrant atmosphere to new heights. Wang Sikong shouted amidst the spray, "Everyone, let loose." The prearranged DJ began spinning records, and lively music filled the air. Wang Yu observed the jubilant scene, a flicker of interest gleaming in his eyes. His smile widened as he casually retrieved a bottle of champagne from a nearby ice bucket. Lei Lei and Tang Tang, witnessing this, were initially taken aback, but their eyes soon sparkled with anticipation and excitement. Wang Yu approached Wang Sikong, uncorking his bottle as he walked. With a resounding pop, the cork flew free, drenching Wang Sikong in the effervescent liquid, causing those nearby to glance over in surprise. The two exchanged a knowing look and burst into laughter, simultaneously raising their champagne bottles and exuberantly spraying the contents into the air. The sparkling champagne fell like fine rain upon the cheering crowd. Wang Yu swayed gently to the rhythm of the music, his usually composed demeanor now radiating a sense of carefree exuberance. After 25 minutes of revelry, as Wang Sikong and Qin Fen began to feel fatigued, they decided to conclude the festivities. Embracing their respective partners, they made their way toward the cabin rooms. Wang Sikong approached Wang Yu, casually remarking, "I'm heading to my room now. There are plenty of vacant rooms. If you decide to join, feel free to enter any that are unoccupied. You know what I mean. I'm off." Jiansu, Qin Fen, and others exchanged knowing glances with Wang Yu before gradually disappearing into the rooms. Soon, the deck was left with only Wang Yu and the two girls, Lei Lei and Tang Tang. Amidst the scattered bodyguards, Wang Yu strolled to the bow of the ship, taking in the scenery and allowing the sea breeze to envelop him. Finding it somewhat dull, he turned to Lei Lei and Tang Tang, suggesting, "Shall we go inside?" Lei Lei, her cheeks slightly flushed, softly replied, "I can hardly wait. Wang Yu, let us go." Tang Tang added eagerly. Tang Tang stepped forward, linking her arm with Wang Yu's, deliberately adopting a tone that was both coy and imbued with a hint of flirtation. As she spoke, she cast a playful wink at Lei Lei, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Her carefree demeanor suggested that she did not take the forthcoming events too seriously. Yet, beneath the surface, there was an almost imperceptible glimmer of anticipation. She tugged Wang Yu towards the cabin, her high heels clicking crisply against the deck, her figure swaying gracefully, exuding charm. 2 hours later, when Wang Yu emerged from the room, he found Qin Fen and Wang Sitsong already engaged in lively conversation in the living room. A group of girls occasionally raised their glasses to feed them drinks. Upon seeing Wang Yu, All eyes turned towards him. Wang Yu, you little rascal. You didn't fall asleep in there, did you? Wang Song teased, his voice laced with mockery. At your age, you shouldn't be so weak. We're all men here. Just be yourself. No need to pretend. Indeed, Wang Yu were friends, so just drop the act, Chen Su added. A broad smile plastered on his face as he regarded Wang Yu. Come on, it's fine to joke with your brothers, but don't fool yourself. Qin Fan chimed in with a laugh. We all know what is going on. We just don't want to expose you. So quit pretending. Feeling somewhat bemused, Wang Yu replied calmly, I'm just going to the restroom. Wait, I'll go too. Chen Su immediately stood up and followed Wang Yu into the bathroom. As a luxurious yacht, the restroom boasted opulent facilities, rivaling those of a five-star hotel, though somewhat limited in space. Only 2 urinals were available, forcing Wang Yu and Chen Su to stand side by side. As Chen Su prepared to relieve himself, he inadvertently glanced over at Wang Yu, his eyes widening in astonishment. Whoa, how are you even human? Chen Su exclaimed in disbelief. Remaining composed, Wang Yu calmly adjusted his trousers. Chen Su, rubbing his forehead in exasperation, returned to the living room with Wang Yu, a look of indignation etched on his face. Why is it that Wang Yu, this young, handsome scion, seems to possess everything? Why is he so endowed? Chen Su pondered, feeling a mixture of envy and frustration. Is he perhaps the illegitimate child of some deity, blessed with all the world's beauty? Where have you been for so long? Just as Chen Su and Wang Yu settled down, Qin Fan curiously inquired, what about your 2 female companions? Why haven't they come out? They probably need a bit more time to rest. This one over there is quite a handful. Chen Su remarked, his tone tinged with fatigue. The gazes of Wang Song and the others immediately shifted to Wang Yu. The surrounding girls discreetly appraised him, their faces alight with curiosity and envy. Lei and Tang Tang are so fortunate. Wow, you're quite the hidden gem. Why do all the good fortunes seem to gravitate towards you? Wang Song chuckled. Wang Yu maintained his serene demeanor, offering nothing more than a slight smile, aware that prolonging the conversation would be impolite. Chapter 61. Symphony of the Ocean, Isn't It About Time? Wang Song gently raised his wrist, his gaze sweeping over the Patek Philippe adorning it, before lifting his eyes to Qin Fan and inquiring. Indeed, Qin Fan nodded slightly, yet his expression betrayed a hint of melancholy as he softly replied, It should be nearly time. Let us proceed together. With that, Wang Song took the lead, striding purposefully towards the upper deck of the yacht. Observing this, Qin Fan inhaled deeply and followed closely behind. As the group ascended to the yacht's deck, the night had descended like a vast, inky tapestry, enveloping the entire Miyako Strait with its profound darkness. In this moment, what should have been a tranquil expanse of the sea was bustling with activity, resembling a vibrant city that never sleeps. Scattered across the ocean, twinkling lights intermingled like stars. Wang Yu squinted, realizing these were the luminous reflections emanating from various vessels anchored in this location. Each ship, distinct in design, exuded an air of opulence. A panorama of luxurious yachts unfolded before his eyes. Unable to contain his curiosity, Wang Yu inquired, What are these? Much like us, they are either affluent young elites or renowned social figures. Wang Song replied, a hint of enigmatic emotion flickering in his eyes as he sighed. From all corners of Asia, and indeed the world, most of the eligible wealthy have gathered here. What about the people from Christie's auction? Wang Song gestured towards the depths of the Miyako Strait, exclaiming, Look over there. Following his pointed direction, Wang Yu gazed into the distance, and in that instant he gasped in astonishment. There, majestically rising from the ocean, was a colossal luxury cruise ship, as if it had emerged from a reverie. Its immense structure loomed against the night and the sea, resembling a floating city, quietly radiating an awe-inspiring aura of grandeur. It appeared like an enormous mythical creature resting upon the waves. The vessel was enveloped in soft, brilliant lighting that accentuated every intricate detail of its design. In the darkness, the entire cruise ship sparkled like a resplendent pearl surfacing from the depths of the ocean. Wang Song stepped closer, pointing toward the giant ship, and declared, This is the largest and most luxurious cruise ship in the world, the Symphony of the Ocean. It is crafted by the finest shipyards globally, measuring a staggering 362 meters in length, 66 meters in width, and standing 108 meters tall, with a total tonnage of 281 tons. It is said to accommodate 880 passengers, with 200 professional staff members providing meticulous service. Such a magnificent vessel is undeniably a behemoth of the seas. Wang Yu, filled with astonishment, could not help but exclaim, the amenities within this ship must be extraordinary. Wang Xikong paused momentarily, a glimmer of envy evident in his gaze. Before continuing, this ship boasts 18 decks, ranging from entertainment and leisure areas on the lower levels to luxurious observation suites at the top, each floor embodying a unique theme. It houses dozens of distinctive restaurants, escape rooms, a grand royal theater, and even the highest water slide at sea, the ultimate abyss, along with a perfect stormwater park. 2 decks for surfing, a miniature golf course, a sky-high cableway reaching up to 9 stories, and a seaside swimming pool. Everything one could possibly desire. Wang Yu was left utterly astonished, his mouth slightly agape, and after a long pause, he finally exclaimed, "Have they actually transported an entire city onto this ship? It's simply unbelievable. What could the cost be?" Once he regained his composure, curiosity brimmed in his voice as he pressed on. Qin Fun, gazing intently at the Ocean Symphony, finally spoke in a low tone. According to public records, the Ocean Symphony cost approximately $1.8 billion. $1.8 billion. Wang Yu gasped. Converted to Chinese currency, that amounts to a staggering 12.2 billion. Over 100 billion, just to construct such a vessel. This is utterly extravagant. His eyes sparkled with awe as he remarked, "It is like a palace upon the sea, opulent beyond imagination." Wang Xikong chuckled and clapped Wang Yu's shoulder heartily, his eyes gleaming with excitement. Indeed, Christie's has spared no expense for this auction, bringing out their finest treasures. Tonight, you shall witness what a grand spectacle truly entails. As the yacht approached steadily, the atmosphere around them grew increasingly vibrant. The Ocean Symphony gradually lowered its gangway. Those yachts that had arrived earlier began disembarking, each person impeccably dressed, exuding wealth and privilege. With every gesture, the brilliance of gold and silver jewelry sparkled, enveloping them in a dazzling aura of affluence. The yacht carrying Wang Yu and his companions also moved in an orderly fashion towards the gangway, nearly reaching the shore. Suddenly, with a loud bang, another yacht recklessly collided with theirs, jostling it violently. Qin Fun stumbled, nearly losing his balance, his face flushing with anger. Wang Xikong's eyes widened in disbelief, fury surging within him. What on earth? Who is this? Do they even know how to navigate a boat? Qin Fun shouted in outrage. Wang Xikong chimed in with his own curses. Have they lost their senses, charging around like this, as if they were rushing to be reborn? Damn it, that fool. The chubby one muttered as he rubbed his waist in irritation. Just then, a figure emerged leisurely from the opposing yacht. The person was of short stature, with beady eyes darting around, emanating a distinctly unsavory aura. Dressed in loose, garish leisure wear, he carried himself with a nonchalant air, a cigar clutched in his hand, the swirling smoke accentuating his obnoxious bravado. He shouted something in Japanese, and though the specifics were lost on them, the tone was unmistakably provocative. Wang Xikong, puzzled, asked, "What nonsense is he spouting?" A nearby attendant quickly approached and whispered a translation. He said they should go first, and you Chinese should queue at the back. This little Japanese scoundrel seems to be deliberately seeking trouble. His intentions are far from benign. Wang Xikong's forehead bulged with veins, his face contorted with rage. Damn that fool. Let us see what tricks he has up his sleeve. Wang Yu's expression mirrored his anger, and he snorted disdainfully. Wang Xikong stepped forward, pointing at the diminutive figure, and bellowed in Chinese, "You dog-bred little wretch, what nonsense are you spouting? This sea is no place for your antics. Apologize at once, and make way for me." His face was contorted with rage, his demeanor suggesting he might charge at the other man. The Japanese individual, however, appeared unfazed. A mocking smile curling at the corners of his mouth as he took a puff from his cigar and exhaled a ring of smoke. He leisurely retorted in broken Chinese. "Baka, what can you do? This is the maritime domain of our great Yamato Empire. You outsiders had best behave if you wish for any good fortune." Wang Yu, in his fury, let out a chilling laugh, his eyes glinting with menace as he declared loudly, "You must be dreaming. When did the Miyako Strait become your territory? Open your eyes, you fool." The blood surged within Wang Yu, his hands itching with the desire to decapitate the insolent little man before him. Tension thickened in the air, palpable like a drawn sword, as the atmosphere on the sea grew increasingly charged. The bodyguards on the deck stood on high alert, their gazes fixed warily on the Japanese adversaries. The two groups faced off, and even the sea breeze seemed to sense the escalating tension, howling more fiercely. "Captain, ram the boat forward. I will bear all losses." Wang Yu furrowed his brow, feeling an overwhelming surge of anger. The captain hesitated, glancing at Wang Xikong. Wang Xikong barked. Are you deaf? Damn it, give it all you've got and ram into them. These little Japanese devils have dared to bully me. Sink that yacht, and I'll reward you with 10 million upon our return. Understood, young Master Wang. I've been itching to deal with him, the captain replied, determination igniting within him. He ceased to hesitate and powered the vessel forward, preparing to collide with the yacht ahead. Just then, a blaring alarm rang out from the Ocean Symphony. A group of white-clad naval officers, armed and purposeful, swiftly approached the boarding deck. The leader, with a stern visage and piercing gaze, commanded, "Cease at once. This area is under the protection of the Royal Navy. It is not a place for your raucous behavior. I warn you, do not provoke trouble." The sudden admonition left both parties momentarily stunned, gradually cooling their tempers. Although Wang Xikong and his companions were seething with rage, they recognized the imprudence of acting impulsively, choosing to restrain themselves for the time being. After all, the authority lay with others. The diminutive Japanese man, his face flickering with displeasure, seemed to harbor some trepidation. He shot a fierce glare at Wang Yu and his companions before coldly snorting, murmuring a few words in Japanese to his attendant. The attendant immediately approached with a sycophantic smile and declared loudly, "Our young master is Shota Koizumi, the illustrious heir of the renowned Koizumi family from the great Yamato nation. Today, he does not wish to engage in disputes with you Chinese folk and will generously let you off this time." Upon finishing, he deliberately puffed out his chest, as if the name he uttered possessed immense authority. Shota Koizumi tilted his head back, striding with an air of arrogance toward the gangway of the Ocean Symphony, swaggering with each step. "That scoundrel! If I ever catch him, I will surely deal with him." Wang Xikong clenched his teeth in frustration and muttered under his breath. Wang Yu squinted slightly, his gaze firmly fixed on Shota Koizumi's retreating figure. Such brazen arrogance from Shota Koizumi today on this vessel might invite further provocations. What is the Royal Navy up to? Qin Fan furrowed his brow and began to explain. You are unaware that the Christie's auction house is no trifling matter. It is rumored to have the backing of the French monarchy. The Ocean Symphony is said to belong to a certain prince. The attendees of this auction are either affluent or noble, and to ensure their safety, the Navy maintains order aboard the Ocean Symphony, while a fleet of the French Royal Navy patrols the adjacent international waters. Wang Xikong pointed to the surrounding sea and continued. The geopolitical landscape of the Matsura Strait is rather sensitive and has long been a focal point of various interests. Our nation has also dispatched a fleet to patrol these waters for security. The Yamato and the Kimchi nations each have their own agendas as well. However, it is precisely for this reason that the Christie's auction is afforded a degree of security, with so many watchful eyes present. It is unfortunate to encounter such individuals right upon our arrival. Upon hearing Qin Fan and Wang Xizong's explanations, Wang Yu gained a deeper understanding of the intricate situation at hand. He nodded slightly and remarked, "We must remain vigilant today and look for opportunities to diminish his arrogance. Indeed, we cannot allow him to bully us." Wang Xizong's expression was filled with indignation. "We need to keep a close watch on him aboard the ship. Should he dare to pull any tricks again, he shall pay dearly." As they conversed, the group continued to follow the flow of people toward the gangway of the Ocean Symphony. The bodyguards and female companions were left behind on the yacht, as the Ocean Symphony was beyond their reach. A sense of caution infused the eyes of Wang Xikong and his companions, alert to the various scenarios that might unfold next. After all, with a troublemaker like Shota Koizumi aboard and situated in such a complex and sensitive environment, no one could predict what further incidents might arise. After undergoing a rigorous inspection, they boarded the Ocean Symphony one by one. Upon stepping inside, it felt as though they had entered a luxurious palace upon the sea. The floor beneath them was polished Italian marble, gleaming like a mirror. Above, a chandelier made of Swarovski crystals cascaded down like falling stars, illuminating the grand entrance hall with blinding brilliance, so dazzling that it was almost blinding. Not far away, the reception desk, meticulously carved from a single block of jade, radiates a soft, warm glow. Adorning it are fresh flowers, air-freighted and currently in full bloom, their vibrant colors almost dripping with beauty. The gentle strains of elegant classical music resonate softly in the air, as the intertwining melodies of the violin and piano create a captivating symphony. Attentive waiters, clad in tailcoats, stand tall, holding flutes of champagne and exquisite delicacies, gracefully weaving through the crowd with smiles upon their faces. The vigilant naval guards patrol the vicinity, their watchful eyes surveying the scene. Wealthy individuals from across Asia gather in small clusters, savoring fine wines. Some engage in discussions about the latest business investments, eliciting gasps of admiration from those nearby, while others converse about current international affairs with eloquence. The ladies, adorned in opulent evening gowns, wear dazzling jewelry that sparkles under the lights. Their laughter and graceful movements exude an aura of elegance. Most attendees have come with the intent of making acquaintances and mingling with the elite, whereas a few, like Wang Yu, are simply here for the auction. It seems that many from other nations are present as well. Wang Yu, listening to the myriad of languages around him, expresses his astonishment. Wang Xikong and others gaze around the lavish ocean symphony, their eyes filled with wonder and admiration. Suddenly, Qin Fan's eyes gleam with excitement as he raises his hand and exclaims, "Hey, Xiang Zhao, over here. What a coincidence!" At the sound of his voice, everyone turns to see a tall, muscular young man striding towards them with confidence. His attire, however, is somewhat ostentatious. He sports a flamboyant sequin jacket paired with distressed jeans and sparkling sneakers. His overall look is both unique and eye-catching, complemented by his deliberately tousled hair, reminiscent of a tempestuous storm, and his trademark broad smile. He cheerfully responds, "Well, if it isn't old Qin and old Wang. Long time no see. I didn't expect to run into you here." Wang Xikong, beaming with joy, rushes forward to embrace Xiang Zhao, giving his back a hearty pat that resonates like a drumbeat. He then turns to introduce him to Wang Yu and the others, saying, "Let me introduce you all. This is Xiang Zhao, a household name in Hong Kong. He is making waves in both the film industry and the business world, and he is quite the character." Wang Xikong then looks back at Xiang Zhao and adds, "This is Wang Yu, my staunchest friend. He is the one behind the Vanguard Heavy Industry Group." Upon hearing this, Xiang Zhao's eyes widen in astonishment, and his mouth drops slightly in shock. His face reflects utter disbelief as a flurry of information about Vanguard Heavy Industry Group flashes through his mind. It is an immense entity, one that far surpasses even the peak of the Xiang family's glory. "It's an honor to meet you. Your reputation precedes you, and I must say, seeing you in person is truly remarkable." Wang Yu quickly steps forward, extending his hand with a beaming smile. Xiang Zhao has skyrocketed to fame in 2024, thanks to his wonderfully absurd comedic talent. In Douyin, he has garnered the affection of the masses. Little did we expect that in 2018, Xiang Zhao would already adopt such a striking appearance. Indeed, one must admit that this flamboyant attire is not easily donned by the average individual. "Greetings, I am Xiang Zhao," he exclaimed, snapping back to reality as he extended his hands with enthusiasm. He grasped Wang Yu's hand firmly, shaking it with exaggerated vigor. Whether renowned or not, it is merely the affection of friends, a bit of frivolity. With a hint of irreverence, he remarked, "Let us dispense with those trivial formalities. Since we've crossed paths, we are friends now, so let us enjoy ourselves openly." "Did you just arrive?" Wang Xikong remarked with a scowl, his voice laced with irritation. "Indeed, we stumbled upon a rather arrogant fellow from the land of the rising sun, named Koizumi Shota. The audacity of that man knows no bounds. He approached us with a quarrel, and had it not been for the Royal Navy's timely intervention, he would have surely met his end in the open sea today." "Koizumi Shota?" Xiang Zhao furrowed his brow, indignation flaring within him. "That name sounds rather foul, does it not? I suspect he is merely flaunting his family's wealth, seeking to assert dominance here." "Indeed, he is nothing more than a piece of excrement," Wang Yu added, suppressing a laugh as his lips twitched in amusement. "By the way, Xiang Zhao, are you here for the auction as well?" "Of course. I've heard that this auction features numerous national treasures of our homeland that have been lost abroad." Xiang Zhao nodded earnestly, his head bobbing like a chick pecking at grain. "I hope to seize the opportunity to acquire a few items as a means to contribute to my country." Upon hearing this, Wang Xikong's expression shifted, his brows knitting together in concern. The anger on his face faded, replaced by a heavy sigh. Just mentioning this matter fills my heart with unease. Reflecting on the past, our nation endured a century of humiliation, beset by foreign invasions, pillaging, and the loss of countless invaluable artifacts. Though our homeland has grown increasingly strong, these treasures remain adrift, unable to return home, and it fills me with fury. Wang Yu sighed deeply, his eyes brimming with nostalgia. "Indeed, every time I see the Chinese artifacts displayed in foreign museums, it is an unbearable feeling. These are the treasures left to us by our ancestors, now exhibited in a foreign land for others to gawk at, and some are even bought and sold as mere commodities. It is a profound disgrace." Xiang Zhao clenched his fists tightly, his knuckles whitening from the effort. his teeth grinding audibly. Our forebears shed their blood and sacrificed their lives to achieve this era of prosperity. I cannot stand idly by while these national treasures continue to wander abroad. Though my individual efforts may not drastically alter the situation, every piece saved counts. My purpose in coming here is to lend my humble assistance, and if I can acquire a few items, it would be worthwhile. Wang Yu lifted his head, determination gleaming in his eyes. Count me in. Regardless of whether we succeed in our bidding, at least we will have made the effort. Such an endeavor cannot exclude me. United in purpose, we may indeed bring these national treasures back home, Wang Xikong added, patting Xiang Zhuo on the shoulder. With our family fortune, the issues arising from the auction should be negligible. Qin Fin concurred. Wang Yu silently vowed to do something for these national treasures that had fallen into the hands of others. With a system at his disposal, his wealth would only multiply. He aimed to acquire as many national treasures as possible, ensuring that these artifacts, which had drifted abroad for over a century, would return to the embrace of their homeland. For a moment, the atmosphere grew quiet. Xiang Zhuo reached for a glass of champagne on the table, tilted his head back, and drank it all in one go. Wiping his mouth nonchalantly afterward, his face resumed its previous nonchalant demeanor as he cheerfully remarked, "All right, let us not dwell on these troublesome matters for now. Since we are here, we might as well embrace it and see how the auction unfolds." At this point, a fierce glint flashed in his eyes as he added, "However, if that little Kiyama Shota dares to cause trouble again, I shall ensure he returns home in a state of defeat. I am trained and will not show mercy." With that, Xiang Zhuo playfully waved his fists. Ha ha ha! Wang Xikong and Wang Yu exchanged amused glances, both entertained by Xiang Zhuo's antics, which instantly dispelled the earlier tension. In the evening, after dining at the restaurant, Xiang Zhuo, Wang Yu, and Wang Xikong, guided by their attendants, entered the auction venue. Upon entering, they were struck by the grandeur and opulence of the setting. The auditorium, capable of accommodating 1,800 attendees, was filled to capacity, with multiple levels of seating. The dazzling lights illuminated the space, and a magnificent crystal chandelier cast a brilliant glow over the neatly arranged seats, as well as the splendid stage designated for showcasing the auction items. Thousands had gathered here, predominantly Asia's elite tycoons, adorned in lavish attire and an array of exquisite jewelry, exuding an air of affluence with every gesture. Among them were a few Western millionaires and Middle Eastern magnates clad in turbans. Should a terrorist attack occur here, it would undoubtedly plunge the global economy into a regression of decades, far worse than the 2008 financial crisis. As Xiang Zhuo and the others took their seats in the front row, Wang Yu inadvertently glanced up and spotted Koyama Shota in the distance. The latter was ostentatiously gesturing various provocative signs towards them, his demeanor exuding arrogance, though the distance rendered his words inaudible. The vile expression on his face and his brazen actions left little doubt that he was not extending pleasantries. Chapter 64. Let us make a bet this little pumpkin dares to provoke us. He truly knows no bounds. Xiang Zhuo frowned, a flicker of menace crossing his gaze as he muttered under his breath. Do not be deceived by Xiang Zhuo's usual lackadaisical demeanor. The Xiang family is not to be trifled with. They had thrived in both legitimate and illicit ventures in their early days. His grandfather, in the pre-revolution era, established the Ian Chamber of Commerce to protect Chinese laborers, with membership peaking at nearly 100,000. Later, in Hong Kong, they were revered as the Emperor of Kowloon. In recent years, under Xiang Zhuo's father's leadership, the family has gradually moved towards a more formalized business approach. Xiang Zhuo himself is particularly passionate about filmmaking and philanthropic endeavors. However, this does not imply that just anyone is qualified to provoke the Xiang family. In certain specific fields and among the older generation, the Xiang family's influence still lingers to some extent. This fellow had just been itching for a fight, and now he comes to taunt us, truly believing we are easy prey. Wang Xikong remarked with a frown. Wang Yu coldly regarded Xiaoquan Xiangta and said in a deep voice, "Ignore him. We are here for the auction, so let us not allow him to ruin our mood." Yet, upon realizing that no one responded, Xiaoquan Xiangta became even more emboldened. He swaggered over, flanked by several lackeys, exuding an air of arrogance. "Baka, aren't those the same Chinese from earlier? Why don't they come over to greet me?" Xiaoquan Xiangta said with a mocking tone, his face brimming with arrogance. Xiang Zhuo's anger surged, and he leaped to his feet, glaring at Xiaoquan Xiangta. "You ignorant little imp. I have no time for you, but you seem quite eager for trouble. If you dare, come at me." Xiaoquan Xiangta, undeterred, burst into laughter. "What's the matter? Feeling indignant? Your precious great Yamato Empire left you in tatters back in the day, and now you can only put on a fa ade here. You. Xiangzhua trembled with rage, his tightly clenched fists cracking as he longed to teach this insolent fool a lesson. Chun Su interjected with a curse. To hell with you. Who let this dog out to yap nonsense? You imbecile. The commotion drew the attention of many curious onlookers, and even the naval officers maintaining order noticed the disturbance and turned their gaze towards it. Wang Xikong restrained Xiangzua's hand and pointed at Xiaoquan Xiangta, exclaiming, You dare to provoke us again, truly believing we won't retaliate? Wang Yu also slowly rose, a hint of coldness in his gaze as he said icily, Xiaoquan Xiangta, is all you can do is spew nonsense? How about we place a wager? Xiaoquan Xiangta, intrigued, replied, What wager? Pray tell. I bet you won't secure a single auction item tonight. Wang Yu taunted, extending a finger provocatively. Nanny. Upon hearing this, Xiaoquan Xiangta's smile vanished, replaced by a sinister expression. Baka, do you know what the Xiaoquan family does? We have been in the arms trade for over a century, and the wealth we have amassed is beyond your imagination. Just wait and see. All the treasures from Huagua will ultimately end up in my hands, and none of you will be able to snatch them away. In your dreams, Xiangzu shouted in fury, those national treasures belong to our Huagua, and we shall not allow you to succeed. Wang Yu merely replied with indifference. Then let us wait and see. At that moment, a contingent of naval guards armed with firearms approached. Sensing the precariousness of the situation, Xiaoquan Xiangta snorted coldly and returned to his position with his lackeys. Do not be angry. It is not worth it to engage with such individuals, Wang Yu reassured, patting Xiangzhua on the shoulder. Xiangzhua took a deep breath, striving to calm his emotions, and said, I am fine. It's just that upon hearing his words, I couldn't help but feel an urge to strike him. Indeed, it is a sentiment that is hard to swallow. Nevertheless, let us exercise restraint for now and engage him decisively once the auction commences. Wang Xikong nodded in agreement. The group settled back into their seats, their eyes reflecting a resolute determination. Xiangzhua, Wang Yu, and Wang Xikong each retrieved their phones, beginning to gather funds in preparation for the forthcoming auction. This was no longer merely a contest of wills among them. It had escalated into a struggle for the rightful ownership of national treasures, a matter of dignity for both country and ethnicity. To lose would mean bearing a lifetime of shame, unable to face their fellow countrymen. At 9 o'clock in the evening, the Christie S auction commenced punctually. The atmosphere in the hall was solemn and dignified. Beneath the grand dome, thousands of crystal chandeliers emitted a soft, bright glow, illuminating the venue as if it were daylight. Yet the dark-toned decorations around the walls created a mysterious and slightly oppressive ambience. All eyes were fixed on the stage. A middle-aged auctioneer, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, stepped confidently onto the platform. His hair was meticulously styled, and his polished shoes gleamed brilliantly, exuding an air of professionalism in every gesture. He first bowed slightly, paying his respects to the guests in attendance. Clearing his throat, he spoke in a steady and powerful voice. Esteemed guests, welcome to this momentous auction. I am Lenny Cheng, a senior auctioneer at Christie S., and it is my honor to preside over this event. Today, we gather here to witness a grand contest of rare treasures. Each item carries a rich history, transcending time to meet you here. Before the auction begins, I will briefly introduce the rules of this auction. We will use Huaxia currency as the unit of exchange this evening, with a minimum increment of 1 million for each bid. If I inquire 3 times without any further bids, the item will be sold to the highest bidder, with settlement to occur after the auction concludes. I also urge all bidders to adhere to the auction's decorum, engaging in rational bidding and respecting every offer made. This auction is guaranteed by Christie S. and the Royal French, ensuring its authenticity and security, so you may bid with confidence. Above the stage, a panoramic display screen provided real-time translation in various languages. At that moment, a squad of Royal Navy guards, standing tall, emerged from behind the stage, armed and vigilant, encircling the platform to ensure the auction proceeded flawlessly. Without further ado, let us present the first auction item. As the auctioneer's words faded, several elegantly dressed young women in traditional kipeos gracefully approached the stage, each carrying a tray that held the first auction item, carefully concealed beneath red silk, heightening the curiosity of the audience. Xiangzhua, Wang Yu, and Wang Xikong sat in the front row, their gazes intently fixed on the first item up for bid. Filled with both tension and anticipation, Xiangzhua clenched his fists, knuckles widening, while Wang Xikong ceaselessly swiped his phone screen. making the most of the final moments to secure funding. Wang Yu, however, reclined languidly on the sofa, surveying his surroundings with a calm demeanor. For him, this auction was a near certainty. He felt unfazed by anyone present. His goal was to ensure that Koizumi Shota would leave empty-handed tonight. In the distance, Koizumi Shota was huddled with several men clad in traditional Japanese attire, whispering conspiratorially and occasionally erupting into boisterous laughter. His gaze frequently darted towards Wang Yu and the others, filled with disdain. At that moment, the auctioneer gracefully unveiled a crimson silk cloth, revealing the first item on the block, an exquisite ancient jade sculpture. The jade's lustrous quality and the meticulous craftsmanship sparkled under the lights, eliciting gasps of admiration from the audience. Originating from the ancient kingdom of Hua, this jade artifact boasted unparalleled artistry and could be traced back to the Yongle period of the Ming dynasty. Its journey through time had led it to this moment, a rare opportunity for all present. Without further ado, the starting bid was announced, 5 million. The auctioneer's voice resonated with enthusiasm. As soon as the words left his mouth, a flurry of bidding paddles shot up from the crowd. 6 million. Xiangzhu raised his paddle without hesitation, his voice ringing out with determination as he fixated on the jade sculpture. Observing this, Koizumi Shota smirked, a cold smile gracing his lips, before raising his own paddle. 7 million. Wang Yu scoffed, swiftly countering. 10 million. 12 million. As the price soared, the atmosphere thickened with tension, as if the air itself were charged with invisible gunpowder. Each raised paddle felt like a silent declaration of war, tightening the hearts of those watching. The auctioneer's gaze darted between bidders, his voice rising in fervor. 18 million once, 18 million twice, 20 million. At that moment, Koizumi Shota leapt to his feet, his expression brimming with arrogance as he shouted loudly. His eyes, filled with provocation, locked onto Wang Yu and the others, as if he were already certain that the item would belong to him. Fuming, Xiangzhu clenched his teeth, poised to raise his paddle once more. But Wang Yu placed a hand over his, then boldly declared, 50 million. With a composed demeanor, Wang Yu whispered, leave it to me. The main event is yet to come. Suppressing his inner fury, Xiangzhu gradually lowered his hand. The auctioneer's attention shifted to Wang Yu, his voice brimming with excitement. 50 million once, 50 million twice. Is there anyone willing to bid higher? Baka. Though Koizumi Shota felt a surge of frustration, he had no choice but to seethe in silence. Despite the Koizumi family's substantial wealth, spending 50 million on a rather unimpressive jade sculpture seemed an extravagant folly. Though he's the heir of the Koizumi family, he refrains from spending money extravagantly. Congratulations to this gentleman for acquiring a jade sculpture from the Yongle period of the Ming dynasty. As the auctioneer's gavel fell, the bidding for the first item came to a conclusive end, while the auction proceeded in an orderly manner. Shota-kun, they won't revel in their success for long, whispered a young man seated beside Koizumi Shota. Patience. We shall find an opportunity to turn the tide later. Our funds are nearly ready, replied another slender man, leaning in to speak in hushed tones. Kenichi-kun and Tetsu-kun are right. I was too hasty. Just then, Abe Sakurako approached with graceful steps, dressed in a traditional Japanese garment adorned with vibrant blooms of the spider lily. She exuded a striking beauty. The wide obi around her waist accentuated her slender figure, adding an enchanting allure. Her bosom rose prominently beneath a deep neckline, creating a mysterious and enticing silhouette that provoked endless imagination. Her small, crimson lips resembled petals freshly kissed by the sun, exuding a luscious allure. As her eyes sparkled, they seemed to possess a captivating charm, drawing one into their depths effortlessly. Sakurako elegantly settled beside the group, a playful smile gracing her lips. She turned her gaze towards her brother, Wang Yu, and remarked, Brother, the Samsung Lee family has been contacted. You need not worry. Abe Tetsuya nodded slightly in response, saying, Excellent. With the support of the Samsung Lee family, Shota-kun can now feel assured. I was overly cautious. Thank you, Miss Sakurako, Koizumi Shota said, his eyes revealing a hint of greed as they swept over Sakurako's figure. She shot him a disdainful glance, her face contorted in disgust, retorting, Do you truly think these few Chinese are worthy of our collaboration? They are utterly useless. Do not underestimate the individuals among them. Wang Xikong, son of China's wealthiest man, Wang Yu from Rong Province, and Xiang Zhao from the Xiang family, should not be taken lightly, Sato Kenichi stated earnestly. Wang Yu. Abe, Sakurako mused, her gaze lingering thoughtfully on him. Meanwhile, Several young women in kipeos emerged from backstage, steadily carrying a tray. Upon the tray lay the second auction item. The auctioneer paused momentarily, waiting for the first item to be properly removed before gently unveiling a golden brocade covering the tray. In an instant, a dazzling light flashed before the eyes of the audience, revealing a mysterious treasure from ancient Egypt, the golden scepter of the pharaoh. Ladies and gentlemen, what lies before you now is a remarkable artifact steeped in history. It hails from the ancient and enigmatic land of Egypt, symbolizing the pharaoh's power. The auctioneer passionately extolled. This scepter is crafted entirely of pure gold, with a rare emerald set at its apex. It is said that this gem possesses mysterious powers, capable of bestowing protection upon its holder. This magnificent golden scepter, measuring 1.5 meters in length, features a fan-shaped head. Through the passage of millennia, it bears witness to the unparalleled glory and history of the ancient Egyptian dynasty. This treasure has been handed down from an English nobleman, and through our professional appraisal, we can confirm that this golden scepter originates from the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. We are 100% certain of its authenticity. The auctioneer grew increasingly animated, the scepter in his hand reflecting dazzling rays of light under the illumination. The audience was utterly captivated, gasps of astonishment echoing throughout the hall. I trust everyone recognizes the value of this artifact. The starting bid is 88 million, the auctioneer declared loudly. As soon as his words fell, the crowd erupted in a flurry of excitement, with many eager participants readying themselves to bid. The first to raise a paddle was a wealthy individual of Middle Eastern descent. Clad in a flowing white robe and donning a white checkered headdress, he exuded an air of grandeur. He bellowed 100 million Huaxia coins, not one to yield easily. Shota Koizumi, still stinging from his previous defeat, was determined to seize this opportunity. He swiftly raised his paddle and proclaimed, 120 million. Turning to challenge Wang Yu and his companions, a fierce glint flickered in his eyes, as if he was resolute in his pursuit. Wang Yu gazed at the golden scepter on stage, stroking his chin in contemplation. A thought struck him. Could the Eye of Truth discern the scepter's authenticity? A glimmer of golden light flickered in his eyes as he activated the Eye of Truth to examine the scepter. Chapter 66. The proper invocation of the Eye of Truth. Item: Pharaoh's golden scepter. Originating from Pharaoh Tutankhamun, circa 1331 BC. Crafted entirely from gold and adorned with an emerald set to protect its bearer. Wang Yu felt a surge of exhilaration within, though his expression remained inscrutable. The Eye of Truth could indeed unveil the details of these treasures. Previously, he had perceived the eye merely as a tool for gauging affinity. Now, it seemed he had underestimated its potential. If it could reveal information about these treasures, could it also discern the nature of lottery tickets, gambling stones, and even the commonplace items around him? Wang Yu's gaze shifted to the Vacheron Constantine watch adorning his wrist. Item: Vacheron Constantine Artisan Series. As a legendary exemplar in the horology realm, its design harmonizes classic elegance with contemporary style, crafted by the world's foremost artisans. Wang Yu nodded inwardly, confirming his suspicions. This was indeed the correct invocation of the Eye of Truth. He subtly leaned towards Xiang Zhua, whispering a few words, then raised his paddle with a composed smile. 150 million. Wang Xikong, observing from the sidelines, was equally engrossed, his demeanor tense as he fidgeted with his phone. Shota Koizumi shot a fierce glare at Wang Yu, raising his paddle once more. 160 million. 180 million. Wang Yu, unfazed, continued to follow suit. As the bids escalated, the atmosphere grew increasingly charged with tension. A European gentleman, adorned in a sleek black tailcoat and a finely tied bow tie, spoke in impeccable British English. 200 million. I shall secure this ancient Egyptian pharaoh's scepter. His eyes, framed by gold-rimmed glasses, radiated an intense yearning for the coveted artifact. Wang Yu subsequently raised his bidding paddle, proclaiming, 250 million. Observing this, Qin Fun tugged at Wang Yu's arm, advising, Wang Yu, exercise some restraint. Although this golden scepter is indeed a treasure, it is not worth exceeding 300 million. Not a problem, Wang Yu replied nonchalantly. The rarity of the ancient Egyptian golden scepter intrigued him greatly. Moreover, with a wager against Shota Koizumi still in play, he was determined to acquire it. 300 million. Shota Koizumi, visibly anxious, raised his paddle once more. The auctioneer's gaze shifted eagerly towards him, exclaiming, 300 million once. 300 million twice. Is there a higher bid? Wang Yu raised his paddle and declared, 350 million. Come on, you short-statured Japanese, dare to follow. Furious, Shota Koizumi retorted, 355 million. 380 million. Wang Yu shot him a challenging glance and raised his paddle again. The auctioneer excitedly announced, 380 million once. 380 million twice. Any higher bids? With a resounding thud, the auctioneer's gavel fell as he declared, congratulations to this gentleman for securing the golden scepter of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. With that, Wang Yu claimed the illustrious artifact. Chun Su and the chubby companion simultaneously raised their middle fingers at Shota Koizumi. Baka, this is intolerable, Shota Koizumi exclaimed, slamming his fist onto the armrest. Calmly, Abe Tetsuya picked up a cup of tea and remarked, this golden scepter is worth, at most, 350 million. If he desires it, let him have it. Indeed, Tetsuya-kun speaks wisely. I have heard that the highlight of this auction is a rare treasure from Huagua, Kenichi Sato added. Let them revel in their victory for now. As more auction items were unveiled, the atmosphere intensified, with bids rising like surging waves. Wang Yu, leveraging his substantial financial resources, secured several exquisite pieces, including a bronze sword from the Warring States period, acquired for the impressive sum of 12 million, drawing envious glances from onlookers. Xiang Zhua and Wang Xizong also made successful bids, albeit at considerable expense due to Shota Koizumi's interference. At this moment, the spotlight once again illuminated the stage as elegantly dressed attendants slowly presented a new item for auction. Esteemed guests, before you lies a silver and gold guqin, crafted during the Tang dynasty of Huagua, later lost to the ravages of war in Wokaku, measuring 11.45 centimeters in length. The instrument features a surface adorned with intricate gold and silver patterns, its body masterfully constructed from copper and wood. Despite the passage of time, it remains exquisitely preserved. A rare gem indeed. The auctioneer passionately introduced the item, while a panoramic display showcased its detailed specifications. It is believed that everyone has come to understand the value of this treasure, with a starting bid set at 40 million. As soon as the words were spoken, many in the audience began to stir with anticipation. Wang Yu activated his true vision and gazed intently. Item: silver and gold pipa. Crafted during the Tang dynasty in the 23rd year of the Kaiyuan era, the body of the pipa is made of copper and wood, featuring a black lacquer finish with a dragon tail crafted from purple sandalwood, adorned with ice patterns. The back of the pipa is embellished with silver engravings of twin dragons on either side of the long qi, while the fengzhou features silver engravings of twin phoenixes, all accented with floral motifs. 50 million. Shota Koizumi was the first to raise his paddle, exclaiming loudly. This was, after all, a treasure from his homeland, and he was unwilling to relinquish it easily. Observing this, Wang Yu's lips curled into a subtle smile as he leisurely raised his paddle. 60 million. Although this silver and gold pipa had been brought to Japan from the Tang dynasty and had remained there for over a millennium, it was time for it to return home. Shota Koizumi's expression shifted slightly. Gritting his teeth, he raised his paddle once more. 70 million. This is an artifact of Japan. Do not think you can take it easily. He turned to Wang Xikong and Wang Yu, his face darkening as he spoke. Meanwhile, Wang Xikong, intrigued, fixed his gaze on the pipa while fiddling with his phone. After a moment of contemplation, he too joined the fray, raising his paddle to shout. 80 million. Wang Yu and Wang Xikong exchanged knowing glances and shared a conspiratorial smile. At that moment, a venerable elder with flowing white hair slowly raised his paddle, speaking in an ancient-sounding Japanese. 90 million. The crowd turned to look, noting the elder's traditional Japanese attire, elegantly simple in cotton and linen, secured with a dark woven belt, occasionally adorned with a small wooden or bone accessory. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense, with the bidding accelerating and prices soaring like a rocket. Beads of sweat began to form on Shota Koizumi's forehead, and with determination, he declared, 100 million. Wang Yu raised his paddle again. 130 million. Whoever buys this pipa is welcome to do so, but must not be Shota Koizumi, for his pride would be at stake. Shota Koizumi's face turned a shade of iron as he shouted, 200 million. Wang Yu promptly raised his paddle. 250 million. 300 million. 350 million. Baka, how much money does this brat possess? Shota Koizumi clenched his fists tightly, reluctantly retreating. The auctioneer's voice rose in pitch as he scanned the crowd, declaring, 350 million once. 350 million twice. Congratulations to this gentleman. With the fall of the auctioneer's hammer, Wang Yu successfully acquired the item once more. Chun Su and the chubby boy were elated, dancing with joy, while the chubby boy gleefully waved his backside at Shota Koizumi, exuding triumph. Baka! Bang! Enraged, Shota Koizumi kicked over a nearby chair, shouting, "This pipa is a treasure of Japan, and it has now been taken away by them. I cannot accept this." Abe Tetsuya remained as composed as ever. He gently set down the teacup in his hand, rose to his feet, and patted Shota Koizumi on the shoulder, offering words of comfort. "Do not be disheartened, Shota-kun. There are still magnificent spectacles to come. Let us see how long they can remain in high spirits." Chapter 67. The Lantingi Su. As the bidding for the exquisite Jean Een Pingwinken concluded, the atmosphere in the room remained electrifying, with everyone eagerly anticipating the arrival of the next significant auction item. At that moment, the stage lights suddenly dazzled brilliantly, all beams converging with precision. Several staff members, clad in black uniforms, entered solemnly, carefully pushing a specially designed display case that maintained constant temperature and humidity. The case, glistening with clarity, revealed a piece of calligraphy that immediately captivated the audience. The auctioneer, dressed in a sleek black suit, stood tall beside the display case, his face radiating uncontainable excitement. He raised a hand slightly, signaling for silence, and his deep, resonant voice echoed throughout the auction hall. "Ladies and gentlemen, the upcoming item is a paragon of the treasures of Chinese culture, an insurmountable milestone in the annals of calligraphy. Behold, the authentic work of Wang Shiji from the Eastern Jin dynasty, the Lantingi Su." As his words fell, the auction venue erupted like an oil-filled frying pan. "My goodness, it's the Lantingi Su. Wasn't it said to have been entombed with Emperor Taizong of Tang? I heard it was in Qianling. Has Christie's really dared to retrieve it from somewhere?" Gasps and murmurs intermingled, causing the scene to descend into chaos. On the panoramic display screen, the flowing strokes of the Lantingi Su unfolded, each brushstroke seemingly imbued with life, dancing upon the screen, recounting the elegance and carefree spirit of that poetic gathering from a millennium ago. "Please, may I have your attention? I understand your excitement, and I share it as well. As a citizen of China, this is undoubtedly the most exhilarating moment of my auctioneering career. This masterpiece by Wang Shiji comes from a collection belonging to a member of the French royal family, reportedly from the tumultuous era of the last century. This priceless artifact has been authenticated by experts from Christie's and several other leading auction houses. We guarantee its absolute authenticity. The starting bid is 300 million. The auctioneer's voice cut through the clamor, resonating in the ears of the crowd. In the front row, a middle-aged man of refined demeanor, wearing glasses, exhibited a fervent gaze, almost instantaneously raising his bidding paddle and calling out, "For 100 million. Clearly, in the face of such a legendary masterpiece as the Lantingi Su, no one among the Chinese could resist its allure. Wang Yu remained seated, his eyes piercing through the throng, fixated on the Lantingi Su within the display case, his expression filled with obsession and awe. Item, Lantingi Su. In the 9th year of the Yonhe era during the Eastern Jin dynasty, March 3rd, 353 AD, Wang Shiji, along with Xie In and Sun Chua, gathered for a wine banquet and composed this preface, known as Lantingi Su. Beside him, Xiang Zhuo vigorously shook his arm and exclaimed, "Wang Yu, this is a divine masterpiece by Wang Shiji. The price is sure to soar to the heavens." Wang Yu nodded slightly, inhaling deeply before slowly raising his paddle. 500 million! This unparalleled work of cursive script, lost for many years, had been sought after by countless emperors throughout history. He was determined to acquire it. At that moment, Xiaoquan Xiangtai could no longer contain himself. He stood up abruptly, his face flushed, and shouted, 600 million. Such a rare work of art deserves a place in our Yamato nation. Do you really think you can lay your hands on Lantingi Su? Wang Xizong sneered. I bid 700 million. The auction room erupted with escalating bids, the prices galloping like wild horses. A Middle Eastern oil tycoon, clad in a flowing white robe and a traditional Arab headdress, joined the fray, raising his paddle high. 800 million. I am willing to exchange this wealth born of oil to safeguard this brilliant jewel of human civilization. Wang Yu fixed his gaze on Lantingi Su once more and raised his paddle. 1 billion. This piece bore the rich cultural heritage of thousands of years of Huaxia civilization. How could he bear to see it fall into foreign hands? The atmosphere in the auction hall became intensely charged, the air seemingly solidified by the fierce bidding. Eyes darted between the bidders, hearts racing as the prices climbed ever higher. Xiaoquan Xiangtai exchanged hushed words with those beside him, his eyes reflecting discontent, before shouting, 1,100 million. This is my final offer. Wang Yu immediately raised his paddle again, declaring, that simply won't do. 1,500 million. The auctioneer's voice trembled with excitement as he surveyed the room, announcing loudly, 1,500,000,000 once? Is there a higher bid? 1,500,000,000 twice. 1,500,000,000 three times. Sold. Congratulations to this gentleman. With a heavy thud of the auctioneer's gavel, silence enveloped the hall. The sound of a pin dropping could be heard. Moments later, many sighed deeply, pounding their chests in regret for not having prepared more funds. This was Lantingui Su, a treasure that countless emperors had sought in vain throughout history. Many present would surely remember this moment, even into old age, until the end of time. Chun Su and the chubby boy were overwhelmed with emotion, tears in their eyes as they rushed forward to embrace Wang Yu tightly. After centuries of wandering, Wang Shiji's Lantingui Su was finally secured by Wang Yu for the astronomical sum of 1,500,000,000, bringing it back to Huaxia. Applause erupted in the hall. This priceless artifact had nearly fallen into Xiao Quan Xiangtai's hands. Who knew how many years it would take to return to Huaxia if it had? Wang Xizong, visibly excited, hugged Wang Yu and said, "Dude, you have to let me borrow it to show off at home. My old man would be over the moon if he knew I brought back Lantingui Su." "All right," Wang Yu replied, feeling a sense of relief wash over him as the auctioneer's gavel came down. Ta Koizumi's expression was one of resentment. His fist clenched so tightly that the knuckles turned white, his chest heaving violently. He turned to his companions, his gaze ablaze with fury, his voice hoarse and sharp with anger and frustration. "Baka, this Lantingui Su should have been mine. It was so close. Do you comprehend what this signifies? This is a cultural treasure of the highest order from Huaxia. If we could bring it back to our great Yamato nation, it would be an unparalleled honor, allowing us to hold our heads high throughout the entirety of the Yamato Empire. Takuin, do not be overly upset. The price has escalated to an outrageous extent, and our budget is not limitless." Tetsuya Abe interjected, placing a reassuring hand on his shoulder. "If that subsequent auction item were not present, I would deplete my entire fortune, selling everything I own to secure Lantingui Su at any cost." Ta Koizumi retorted, shaking off his friend's hand and glaring with widened eyes. Kenichi Sato, with a troubled expression, murmured softly, Takuin, the following auction item is also of great importance. We have been tasked with a mission from above." "Oomph." Ta Koizumi scoffed, interrupting him. "What do those in charge understand? Can they truly appreciate the intrinsic value of Lantingui Su? If we miss this opportunity, who knows when the next will arise? Perhaps we shall never have another chance." With that, he gazed skyward, sighing deeply, feeling a weight lodged in his chest. At that moment, laughter and merriment from Xiang Zhao, Wang Xizong, and others wafted from a distance. The sound grated on Ta's ears, and gritting his teeth, he muttered through clenched jaws, "Wang Yu, I will remember this debt. Do not think it will end so easily. Lantingui Su will not escape my grasp." A fierce fire smoldered within Ta Koizumi, causing his heart to ache with frustration as he found himself with no outlet for his indignation, left only to stare in silence. Just then, the stage lights began to shift once more. The originally bright, white illumination gradually faded into a mysterious and solemn golden hue. All present held their breath in anticipation of the final auction item. A couple of staff members carefully brought forth a temperature and humidity control display case. "Ladies and gentlemen, today's auction has indeed been splendid. However, what is to be revealed next is the final item, a treasure of such rarity that it can only be likened to the most resplendent jewel upon a crown, a monumental chapter in the annals of human knowledge." The auctioneer proclaimed with solemnity, stepping forward to elaborate. Inside the case, resting upon thick brocade, lay 68 ancient tomes. "Esteemed guests, behold, this is the original copy of the Yongle Dadayan, compiled during the Yongle era of the Ming dynasty with the efforts of the entire nation. This monumental work encompasses a staggering array of 7,000 to 8,000 texts from antiquity to the present, covering the realms of classics, history, philosophy, astronomy, geography, medicine, divination, Buddhist, Taoist scriptures, drama, crafts, and agriculture, undoubtedly rendering it an encyclopedic collection of literature. Though time has weathered its pages and tumultuous events have transpired, only 68 volumes of this monumental work remain in existence, each page imbued with the infinite wisdom and effort of human civilization. It stands as a magnum opus of Chinese culture, a source of pride for all humanity. The auctioneer's fervent introduction ignited the audience's enthusiasm like a roaring flame. The display screen showcased high-definition images of the interior pages of the Yongle Dadayan. The meticulously crafted small script and exquisite illustrations transported onlookers through time, immersing them in the cultural splendor of the flourishing Ming dynasty, where nations gathered in reverence. The volume is adorned with numerous beautiful illustrations and paintings. The starting bid was set at 880 million. In the front row, an elderly scholar, white-haired yet spirited, was the first to tremulously raise his bidding paddle, his voice quivering as he declared, 1 billion. Having dedicated his life to the study of ancient texts, he felt that bringing even a portion of the Yongle Dadayan back to his homeland would contribute to the preservation of Chinese cultural heritage. Shota Koizumi immediately raised his paddle, proclaiming 2 billion. He had waited all night for this crowning item. Yongle Dadayan, compiled during the 6th year of the Yongle era, 1408, of the Ming dynasty, under the leadership of the prince's master Yao Guangxiao and Hamlin scholar Xie Jin, with over 3,000 contributors, totaling 11,095 volumes and approximately 3.7 billion characters, encompassing nearly 8,000 ancient and contemporary texts. It is the largest encyclopedia in recorded history, a treasure of human civilization. Wang Yu gazed solemnly at the Yongle Dadayan. Although it was not his favorite, he understood its immense significance to Chinese civilization. With a cold smirk, Wang Yu declared, I bid 5 billion. Our treasure of Huaxia shall not fall into the hands of outsiders. 6 billion. This Yongle Dadayan belongs not only to Huagua, but is a cultural heritage of all humanity, deserving a place in Europe's finest museums to showcase the allure of Eastern civilization. Upon hearing this, Wang Yu turned to see a white elder in a sharply tailored black suit, speaking fluent French. Wang Yu refocused on the Yongle Dadayan, again raising his paddle. 2 billion. Suddenly, a voice with a Korean accent rang out. How could this treasure possibly belong to anyone but the Republic of Korea? The crowd turned to see a young man rising, impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, his hair slicked back with an air of confidence and arrogance. He boldly announced, 1 billion. The Yongle Dadayan belongs to the Li family of Samsung. Trouble was brewing, as the price soared beyond expectations. The bidding echoed like crashing waves, rising and falling in relentless succession, the price skyrocketing like a rocket. The atmosphere in the auction hall was charged with tension, nearly igniting, making it hard to breathe. The gazes of the crowd darted like lightning among the bidders, hearts racing in rhythm with the escalating price, pounding like drums as if they might leap from their throats. Ta Koizumi and several others nearby were like ants on a hot pan, anxiously murmuring and shouting. 3 billion. Without hesitation, Wang Yu immediately raised his paddle. 3.5 billion. Damn it, 3.6 billion. Li Zixuan, not to be outdone, furrowed his brow and gritted his teeth, loudly proclaiming in Korean. The auctioneer's voice trembled with excitement, beads of sweat forming on his forehead. He scanned the room, alternating his gaze between Wang Yu and the other bidders, shouting hoarsely, 3.6 billion once, 3.6 billion twice. Is there a higher bid? Wang Yu raised his paddle again. 3.8 billion. This was a direct increase of 2 billion. This treasure, at 3.8 billion, was certainly not indicative of its true worth. For billion. For 0.2 billion. For 0.3 billion. Wang Yu, feeling helpless and disregarding whether his bank card could cover the amount, raised his paddle once more. I bid 6 billion. After declaring this, he turned to Ta Koizumi and challenged. If you have the guts, keep bidding. Ta Koizumi's face turned ashen, glaring at Wang Yu, and through clenched teeth, he uttered, Wang Yu, you have repeatedly thwarted my endeavors. I will remember this, and we shall see. The auctioneer, brimming with excitement, called out, 6 billion once. 6 billion twice. Is there a higher bid? 6 billion third time. Sold. With a resounding thud of the auctioneer's gavel, the entire auction hall fell into a profound silence, which was soon shattered by thunderous applause. The original 68 volumes of the Yongle Encyclopedia, after enduring the ravages of time and wandering through foreign lands, had re-emerged into the world. History would remember this day. Li Zixuan, visibly frustrated, shot a fierce glare at Wang Yu, muttering a few curses in Korean before turning on his heel and leaving the venue. As the auction concluded, the crowd began to disperse. At that moment, a venerable scholar approached him slowly. What a formidable youth! His voice was filled with exhilaration, his eyes brimming with emotion and satisfaction as he extended his hand. I am Professor Wei Qiming from Huqing University. Thank you for your contribution to our nation. This is truly a monumental achievement. Professor Wei, you flatter me. Wang Yu quickly rose, extending his hand respectfully. My name is Wang Yu, but you may call me Xiao Wang. I merely did what I believed was right. The Yongle Encyclopedia belongs to Huaxia. I could not allow it to be lost to foreign lands. Professor Wei nodded slightly. Do you understand the significance of the Yongle Encyclopedia to our country and to Huaxia culture? Wang Yu scratched his head, feeling somewhat embarrassed. Not really. Chapter 69. A Bountiful Return. The Yongle Encyclopedia was a monumental work created during the Yongle era of the Ming Dynasty, compiled through the efforts of countless scholars and skilled artisans. At the time of its compilation, it encompassed approximately 7,000 to 8,000 texts, covering astronomy, geography, literature, history, medicine, and crafts, representing the zenith of Huaxia culture. Professor Wei paused, a glimmer of melancholy flashing in his eyes. Alas, through the trials of time, wars, fires, and plundering, it has faded into history, leaving only these 68 volumes. Yet, every page, every line, and every word serves as a crucial key to our understanding of ancient Chinese culture. Professor Wei turned to Wang Yu, his eyes brimming with anticipation. I have devoted my life to the study of ancient texts. If these works could be introduced into professional academic institutions, the value they could yield would be immeasurable. I earnestly implore you to consider lending the Yongle Dadayan to the relevant national departments for research for a period of time, allowing more scholars and experts to touch history and unearth the hidden culture within. As Wang Yu listened to the scholar's heartfelt words, a surge of warmth filled his heart. After a moment of contemplation, he solemnly replied, Rest assured, Professor Wei, my intention in acquiring it was never to keep it hidden. Since you have made this request, I will certainly do my utmost to cooperate. Tears glistened in Professor Wei's eyes as he tightly grasped Wang Yu's hand, exclaiming, Wonderful, with your assurance, I can finally be at ease. Once his emotions had calmed slightly, Professor Wei began to study the young man before him. So youthful, yet so extraordinary in his actions. Who might this young gentleman be? Unable to suppress his curiosity, he gently inquired, Young Wang, may I be so bold as to ask, given your demeanor and conduct, you must surely come from a distinguished background? Wang Yu maintained his characteristic gentle and humble smile, responding without an ounce of arrogance, Professor Wei, my family merely engages in a modest business, nothing worth mentioning. Professor Wei raised an eyebrow, a knowing smile gracing his face. Ah, but your modest business is anything but ordinary. To decisively clinch the Yongle Dadayan at auction is not something an average family could accomplish. Mere luck, perhaps? Ha ha ha, you little rascal. Subsequently, Wang Yu and his companions proceeded to the auction house's back office to complete the necessary formalities. The staff, wearing professional smiles, politely addressed Wang Yu, Mr. Wang. Congratulations on acquiring these rare treasures. You are required to pay 8 billion Huaxia coins. As per procedure, we now need to finalize the payment. Please provide your payment method. By card. Wang Yu replied with a slight nod, producing his bank card to make an initial payment of 6 billion for the Yongle Dadayan, followed by the remaining 2 billion. Beep. The system has detected the host's expenditure of 8 billion, providing a double cashback of 8 billion. Beep. Congratulations. The host has earned 840,000 system points. Wang Yu's expression turned exhilarated. 840,000 points was unprecedented. He had never been this affluent since his rebirth. System. Open my personal panel. Age, 20. Height, 188 centimeters. Charisma, 92. Physique, 120. Normal human limit is 100. Endurance, 120. Normal human limit is 100. Attributes, double cashback. Effect. All reasonable expenditures will be refunded at double the amount. Ultimate physique. Effect. From this moment forward, you are the pinnacle of human physicality. Solidification. Effect. Points. 887. 387. Huaxia coins. 15. 960. 807. 894. Wang Yu fervently swung his fists, his heart brimming with joy. 1,590,000,000 Huaxia coins and 880,000 system points. He had never engaged in such a prosperous endeavor. Following a seamless payment process, Christie's auction house exhibited remarkable professionalism and efficiency. They swiftly arranged for a naval escort to carefully transport the numerous treasures acquired by Wang Yu to the yacht moored nearby. The treasures were meticulously secured by bodyguards, enveloped in layers of protection to ensure their safety. Once everything was properly transferred, Wang Yu, along with Wang Xikong and Xiang Zhua, stood on the deck of the vessel, the sea breeze gently caressing them, infused with a hint of saltiness that tousled their hair. Xiang Zhua stepped forward. giving Wang Yu a hearty pat on the shoulder, and exclaimed with a hearty laugh, "Wang Yu, this is a resounding victory. However, you must return swiftly to ensure these treasures are safely stowed away, lest the night stretch longer with unforeseen consequences. Until we meet again." Wang Yu nodded earnestly, clasping Xiangzuo's hand, replying, "Absolutely. Once we return to Magic City and have time, we shall gather again. It's a pity we must forego the delights aboard the Ocean Symphony." Chen Su chimed in agreement from the side. Subsequently, to avert any unexpected occurrences, Wang Yu and his companions had to part ways with Xiangzuo and board their own yacht. The yacht gently set sail, slicing through the tranquil sea, racing towards the direction of Magic City. Standing on the deck, Wang Yu cast a glance back at the receding Ocean Symphony, his heart filled with profound sentiments. The scenes of that evening were truly spectacular. The scenarios that once unfolded in novels were now materializing in reality, especially meeting Xiangzuo, which filled Wang Yu with delight. The more friends one has, the more avenues open up. The Xiang family possesses numerous connections. Beneath the shroud of night in the Miyako Strait, the deep blue waters gently rippled, shimmering with fragmented silver reflections. The early morning sea breeze carried a touch of chill, infused with the ocean's distinct briny essence. Weaving through the yachts and tousling hair, the yacht beneath them surged forward, and the deck was already alive with exuberance. A group of youthful and vibrant girls laughed joyously, gliding gracefully among the crowd. At the center of the deck, a girl with long hair, cascading to her waist, exquisite in appearance, donned a pink bikini, swaying her slender form to the pulsating rhythm of the music. She was not casting flirtatious glances at anyone in particular. Chen Su held a glass of champagne, carelessly spraying around. He turned his head towards Wang Xikong, who was leisurely smoking nearby, his eyes wide with excitement as he shouted, "Look at this scene today. What a spectacle. Goodness, it's even more exhilarating than a scene from a movie. Our outing feels almost like a cheat. We've acquired all those extraordinary treasures. Once we return to Magic City, I shall certainly flaunt our spoils." Wang Xitsong's lips curled into a slight smile, wisps of smoke rising leisurely. He took a leisurely breath, his gaze shifting to Chen Su, teasingly replying, "Look at you, all riled up over such a display? In my humble opinion, it is undoubtedly Wang Yu who stands out with his remarkable audacity and vision. Simply extraordinary. He managed to acquire every single precious item without exception. A feat that most could only dream of," Qin Fen remarked. After spending the night together, especially following the auction, Wang Yu had earned their recognition. Even though they were aware of his family background, his exhibited financial prowess was nothing short of astonishing. While Qin Fen and Wang Xizong maintained their composure, Chen Su and the chubby ones displayed a growing respect towards Wang Yu. The other young ladies on the deck were less contemplative. They only knew that Wang Yu consistently occupied a central position among the affluent heirs. His elevated status, combined with his handsome looks and wealth, made him the focal point. This evening, he had extravagantly spent lavish sums to acquire numerous treasures. The girls gazed at Wang Yu with eyes akin to ravenous wolves, almost wishing to devour him whole. Lei and Tang Tang were particularly envious. Chapter 70. Crisis on the High Seas, boss. We have a situation. At that moment, the captain shouted towards Wang Xikong. Upon hearing this, Wang Xizong turned his gaze to the sea. In the distance, 3 yachts surged through the waves like dark phantoms. Leading the charge on the deck were Xiao Quan Xiangtai and Beiji Yi and Sato Kenny. Xiao Quan Xiangtai donned a black trench coat, its edges fluttering wildly in the wind, which combined with his diminutive stature, rendered him an incongruous sight. His expression was terrifyingly grim, a twisted smirk contorting his features as he fixated on Wang Yu's yacht. Behind him, over 100 subordinates clad in identical black combat uniforms brandished rifles, exuding an intimidating aura. The 3 yachts abruptly halted, blocking Wang Yu and his companion's path, sending up a massive spray of water. "Ah, Wang Yu, you chose not to tread the path to heaven, yet here you are, unwittingly striding into hell. Did you ever imagine we would meet again on these open seas?" Xiao Quan Xiangtai advanced to the bow, looking down from his elevated position and unleashing a chilling, maniacal laughter. "What shall we do? They are armed," one young lady exclaimed, her face drained of color, her voice trembling. Wang Yu's eyes narrowed as he replied coldly, "Xiao Quan Xiangtai, what do you intend to do? Do you not fear international scrutiny for brazenly resorting to violence on the high seas?" Xiao Quan Xiangtai scoffed, his arrogance intensifying. "Scrutiny? This is international waters. Who would know what transpires here? My Xiao family is a lineage of arms dealers, and we possess means to ensure everything remains hushed. You think you can escape unscathed back to Huagua after repeatedly thwarting my plans? At that moment, Chun Su stepped forward, his eyes wide with fury as he pointed an accusing finger at Xiao Quan Xiangtai, shouting, "You little Japanese scoundrel, do not be so arrogant. Competing fairly at the auction and failing to match our wealth. Now you resort to underhanded tactics? Have you no shame?" And Beiji shook his head, interjecting, "You are mistaken. It is merely a matter of employing one's own methods." Sato Kenny shrugged, saying, "Even at death's door, you still speak defiantly. I shall offer you one last chance. If you are wise, promptly surrender your belongings, and I may spare your lives. Otherwise, this day, next year, shall mark your demise. Try and lay a finger on us." Naval vessels from various nations patrolled nearby. Should you fire a shot, within mere minutes, the ships of our great nation would arrive. And by then, your escape would be impossible. Wang Xikong glared fiercely, responding without a hint of fear. With his hands clasped behind his back, he signaled to the captain, who, understanding the unspoken command, nodded subtly and discreetly pressed a button. "You audacious little devils. Do you dare to brazenly rob from us? Do you think we are easy prey?" At this moment, the stout youth suppressed his trepidation and yelled in outrage. Baka, stubborn until the end. Shota Koizumi, incensed by the words, felt his face flush, veins bulging on his forehead as he roared, "Open fire. I want to see just how tough you truly are. I demand you kneel and bow before me." Instantly, 100 soldiers clad in combat gear raised their rifles, dispersing to various positions to unleash a torrent of gunfire upon them. The air was immediately filled with a deafening cacophony of gunshots, bullets whistling like raindrops, shattering the furniture and railings on the deck. The women, terrified, turned pale, their screams echoing as they crouched down, trembling. Cold Blade reacted swiftly, leaping to shield Wang Yu beneath him. His gaze remained resolute as he vigilantly scanned the surroundings. Despite the bullets whizzing overhead, he showed no intention of retreat. He whispered to Wang Yu, "Stay calm, it's safe for now. Watch out for the bullets." In that moment, the air was thick with gunfire and smoke. The once serene sea now roiling in turmoil. Under the protection of their bodyguards, the group bent low, using the yacht's features for cover. The bodyguards retaliated with compound bows and other equipment, though their efforts proved largely ineffective. Qin Fan crouched behind a stone pillar, beads of sweat rolling down his forehead. In desperation, he shouted to Wang Xikong, "Old Wang, this won't do. We need a plan. Captain, accelerate in the opposite direction." Wang Xikong commanded loudly. "Understood, boss." The captain, hunched over and drenched in sweat, cautiously dodged the incoming bullets, turning the vessel to speed away. Bang! Baka! They're trying to escape. What are you waiting for? Chase them down. Shota Koizumi threw a heavy object at the captain's face. "Hey!" The captain winced at the sting on his face, a surge of anger igniting within him. Yet he refrained from acting out. In the hierarchical culture of Japan, he dared not offend his superior. Instead, he redirected his frustration towards Wang Yu and the others, promptly escalating the yacht's speed to its maximum. Seeing that they could not shake off their pursuers, Wang Xikong surveyed the surroundings and decisively commanded, "Bodyguards, retrieve the weapons from my room. They are beneath my bed. Hurry." The bodyguards near the stairs exchanged glances and swiftly crawled on the ground, one flipping back to the stairwell below deck. Before long, they returned, armed with submachine guns and struggling to carry several heavy boxes. The boxes thudded heavily upon hitting the ground. The bodyguards quickly opened the boxes, revealing the weapons within to the astonished group. A pistol, a rifle, a submachine gun, grenades, and even a menacing rocket launcher were all present, leaving the onlookers utterly astonished. "Damn it, Lao Wang, where did you acquire these treasures?" "A rocket launcher. This is no trivial matter," Qin Fan exclaimed, his eyes widening in shock and excitement. Wang Xizong scratched his head, a hint of embarrassment creeping onto his face as he explained, "After all, we are in international waters. Better safe than sorry. I thought it prudent to prepare an array of weapons, just in case we encounter trouble. And look, it has proven fortuitous." At that moment, gunfire erupted from across the way, the bullets striking the cover and sending sparks flying. The bodyguards who had ventured out first brandished their submachine guns, firing rapidly at the opposing side. Under their cover, the bodyguards on the yacht began to retreat, arming themselves for a counterattack. Wang Xizong gritted his teeth, grasping a submachine gun, skillfully checking the magazine and pulling back the bolt. "Brothers, at this critical juncture, we fight. One kill breaks even two is profit." Wang Yu also stood, accepting a rifle, squinting slightly as he aimed at the foes on the opposing yacht. Everyone be cautious. Treat this as a game of life and death, he said coolly before pulling the trigger. The bullet flew forth, striking an enemy squarely in the head, splattering blood in the air. Surprisingly calm on his first kill, Wang Yu felt no nausea or revulsion typical of cinematic portrayals. Instead, he sensed a rush of adrenaline surging through him. As the two sides engaged in fierce combat, the situation grew increasingly tense. Shota Koizumi, hiding behind a pillar on the opposing yacht's deck, boisterously taunted, Wang Yu, there's no escape for you today. Hand over the treasures, and I might spare your lives. Wang Yu scoffed, retorting, Shota Koizumi, you are deluded. If you have the skill, come take it by force, rather than resorting to such despicable tactics. Have you no shame? At that moment, Lung Feng seized the opportunity, crouching low and swiftly shouldering the rocket launcher amidst the hail of gunfire, adjusting his aim before decisively pulling the trigger. A thunderous roar accompanied the launch of the rocket, which soared through the air, striking the enemy's deck with a resounding explosion, creating a massive crater, flames leaping skyward, smoke billowing, and debris scattering. What? How could they possess heavy weaponry? ISNT gun ownership prohibited in Hua country? A rocket launcher? This is impossible. Shota Koizumi and his companions gasped in disbelief, their eyes wide with terror. Wang Xizong erupted in laughter. Shota Koizumi, did you not foresee this? The scenery here is exquisite. You shall remain here today. Fire relentlessly. Do not let them escape. Infuriated, Shota Koizumi shouted hysterically. His subordinates, upon hearing his command, unleashed a frenzied barrage of gunfire toward Wang Yu and the others, bullets raining down like a storm. After firing the rocket, Lung Feng quickly rolled back to cover, reloading while calling out, our firepower is insufficient. Everyone be on guard. Chapter 71. The might of the fleet, the fierce battle raged on, gunfire weaving a deadly web. Bullets whistling and darting across the surface of the sea. The air was thick with the acrid scent of gunpowder, mingling with the sea breeze, provoking a sense of nausea. In the initial phase, Wang Yu and his companions found themselves at a disadvantage in terms of firepower. However, with the sudden deployment of heavy weaponry, they managed to regain some ground. Meanwhile, Shota Koizumi and his band remained undeterred, emboldened by their numerical superiority, launching relentless assaults without any intention of retreating. At this critical juncture, the satellite phone concealed in Wang Xizong's pocket emitted a series of urgent rings. Seizing the opportunity during a magazine change, he hastily retrieved the device. The signal on the other end appeared unstable, interspersed with static. Upon answering, a commanding voice resonated through the line. Wang's boy. We are en route to provide support at full speed, expected to arrive within 3 minutes. You must hold your ground. Wang Xizong's eyes lit up, and he responded loudly. Wonderful. With you on our side, not a single one of these rascals will escape. We can certainly endure. At that moment, his voice brimmed with confidence, and the tension that had previously gripped him began to ease. After ending the call, Wang Xikong excitedly shouted to his comrades, Brothers, our naval fleet is on the way. Hold on for these last 3 minutes. Shota Koizumi's time is up. Upon hearing this, morale surged among the group, and their retaliatory fire intensified. Shota Koizumi faintly caught the sound of alarms in the distance. The sharp, urgent tones sliced through the night, causing his heart to race. He turned to the sea, scanning the horizon, and inquired of Tetsuya, Abe beside him, What is that sound? Could it be the Chinese Navy has truly arrived? Given the commotion, it seems plausible. We must devise a plan quickly, Abe replied, his previously calm demeanor now marred by panic, his face pale as he stuttered. At that moment, the alarm grew increasingly loud, revealing the imposing silhouette of the Chinese naval fleet on the horizon. 3 destroyers led the charge, cutting through the waves like vigilant sentinels, exuding an air of formidable power. The ship's lights pierced the darkness like blades, and as they drew closer, the resounding alarms reverberated painfully in the ears, seemingly issuing the most severe warning to Shota Koizumi and his group. Panic-stricken, Shota Koizumi felt beads of sweat rolling down his forehead as he shouted frantically, Cease fire! Retreat! We must retreat immediately. Kenichi Sato attempted to maintain his bravado, saying, We're just going to run away? Our plan, but was silenced by a fierce glare from Tetsuya Abe, who retorted, What plan? If we don't flee now, we'll be caught by the Chinese Navy. This is international waters. No one will come to our aid. Seeing the disarray among Shota Koizumi and his crew, Wang Yu seized the opportunity to taunt Shota Koizumi. Why the sudden loss of bravado? Weren't you the one demanding our surrender? Are you afraid now? Fuming with rage yet powerless to retaliate, Koizumi clenched his teeth and snarled. Don't get too cocky. This account isn't settled yet. As the Chinese naval fleet swiftly approached, a stern voice echoed from the destroyer's loudspeakers. Unidentified vessels ahead. Immediately cease hostilities and submit to inspection. Otherwise, we will take coercive measures. Unidentified vessels ahead. Immediately cease all aggressive actions and prepare for inspection. The stern voice resonated across the sea, echoing like thunder. Shota Koizumi's yacht hastily altered its course. His subordinates scrambled to stow away their weapons as the engine roared to life, and the three yachts fled in a panic, akin to frightened strays. However, the naval forces of Wagwa would not let them escape so easily. The fleet fanned out in formation, accelerating in pursuit. In an instant, the sea erupted in splashes, the warships wake weaving through the water like silvery ribbons. Wang Yu and his companions stood aboard their yacht, watching the retreating figures of Shota Koizumi and the swiftly approaching naval fleet, feeling a sense of relief wash over them. Wang Sicong exhaled deeply, expressing his gratitude. We are fortunate that our navy arrived in time. Our ammunition is running low. Otherwise, today's ordeal could have escalated into a significant crisis. Indeed, this is right on our doorstep. We cannot allow these intruders to bully us, Qin Fen remarked, rubbing his trembling legs. Shortly after, a naval assault boat approached Wang Yu's yacht, and a young soldier boarded. Clad in a sharp military uniform, he stood tall and proud, his epaulets shimmering in the sunlight. He saluted the group and inquired with concern, "Is everyone all right?" We rushed here upon receiving the distress signal. Wang Sicong stepped forward, gratefully shaking the young soldier's hand. "Thank you for your timely arrival. We are all well, though we were startled." He exchanged a knowing glance with his bodyguard, who immediately understood and signaled for the other bodyguards to holster their weapons. "Is anyone injured?" the officer asked, and they exchanged glances, checking one another. Wang Sicong replied, "Just some superficial injuries. Nothing serious." The officer nodded solemnly, stating, "That is good to hear. This area has been tumultuous lately. You must exercise caution on your subsequent journey. Should any issues arise, do not hesitate to contact us." He paused before continuing, "While I do not concern myself with what you carry on the high seas, I expect you to manage your belongings appropriately once you return to Huagua waters. Otherwise, severe consequences will follow." After delivering his instructions, the officer returned to the assault boat, rejoining the fleet. Subsequently, a frigate was dispatched to escort Wang Yu and his companions' yacht toward Modu, ensuring their safe passage. Under the protective gaze of the naval fleet, the yacht moved steadily forward, gradually approaching Huagua waters. Wang Yu and his companions gathered together, their spirits calming from the earlier tension and excitement. Wang Sicong glanced around and whispered to his bodyguard, "Let us dispose of the firearms in the sea. We cannot bring such items back home and invite trouble." The bodyguards nodded in agreement, swiftly binding the weapons and ammunition before sinking them into the depths. Observing this, all understood Wang Sicong's intentions. Recognizing the stringent regulations surrounding firearms in their homeland, returning with such items would only lead to unnecessary complications. The lingering scent of gunpowder still hung in the air, mingling with the salty sea breeze, a poignant reminder of the chaos that had just unfolded. The girls huddled together in a corner of the deck, embracing each other tightly, their bodies trembling uncontrollably, seemingly still lost in the aftermath of the recent fierce gunfight. Lele's eyes were tightly shut, her long eyelashes dampened by tears, clinging together, as tears cascaded down her cheeks, splattering onto her companion's shoulder and soaking a patch of fabric. Their hair lay tousled, strands whipped by the sea breeze brushing against their faces, yet they paid no mind to tidying up, mechanically gripping the arms of those beside them, their nails turning white from the pressure. One girl with short hair chattered her teeth, whispering in a quivering voice, I thought we were going to die here." Before she could finish, a wave of sobs interrupted her. The girl with long hair gently patted her back, attempting to soothe her, although her own voice trembled with emotion. "Don't be afraid. It's all over now." Yet, the slight quiver in her tone betrayed her inner turmoil. On the deck, tables and chairs lay shattered, debris scattered everywhere. Some wooden boards still emitted wisps of smoke, remnants of bullets grazing past. The railings were twisted and deformed, revealing jagged gaps. Shell casings blanketed the ground. As the sea breeze wafted through, the mingled scents of gunpowder, blood, and the ocean surged in a nauseating wave. Although Wang Yu and the others felt a lingering dread, Witnessing the girl's state compelled them to step forward in comfort. Don't be afraid. You're safe now. It's all right. Wang Yu softly reassured Lei Lei. With a wail, Lei Lei and Tang Tang threw themselves into Wang Yu's embrace, weeping openly. Wang Xizong cast aside his usual nonchalance. Concern etched upon his face as he looked at the girls. Fear not, we are here. Soon, we'll return to the Magic City, and everyone will receive a red envelope. Then, I'll take you to buy the latest bags and jewelry. Pick whatever you fancy, just to ease your fright. As he spoke, he animatedly gestured, striving to elicit smiles from the girls and liberate them from their terror. He understood well that these girls had just endured a life-threatening ordeal. They needed tangible reassurances to feel secure and comforted. Today, we've all been shaken. The principal will surely be generous. Let us set this aside for now and think about what delicious feast we'll have when we disembark, a well-deserved treat for ourselves. Qin Fan chimed in agreement. Chun Su and the chubby boy nodded eagerly, with the latter producing a few pieces of chocolate from his pocket, offering them to the girls. Have some sweets. Chocolate will lift your spirits. This is a special stash of mine. As the girls listened to their words, their sobs gradually softened, though tears still glimmered in their eyes. Their emotions began to stabilize. They started to whisper to one another about their desired gifts and favorite foods. The following day, at 8 in the morning, the horizon was painted with a kaleidoscope of colors by the sunlight, as birds soared overhead, their calls echoing. At the Bund, in the Yu Yuan restaurant, Wang Xizong and his companions reserved the largest banquet hall. The girls, bodyguards, and attendants aboard casually took their seats, while Wang Yu and his companions gathered around table. Shall we indulge a little to ease our nerves? Qin Fan suggested, casting a glance at Wang Yu. Absolutely. Wang Yu replied decisively. He was not typically one to indulge excessively in alcohol. He would occasionally partake when the mood struck, but he had never consumed as much as he had over the past few days. The excitement from last night's gunfight still tingled in his veins, and he thought a little drink might help soothe his spirit. As the drinks flowed and the dishes were served, Qin Fan, his cheeks flushed and excitement still lingering in his eyes, exclaimed, "Last night was something to boast about for a lifetime. Those bullets whizzing past had my heart in my throat. I thought I was done for. This is far more exhilarating than merely drinking or chasing women." Indeed, chimed in the plump Li Xiang, his mouth full of beef, speaking with muffled enthusiasm. I even saw the Grim Reaper beckoning me, but when our mother showed up, it was utterly breathtaking. The warship emerged as if from a sci-fi movie, and that frightened fellow was left in a state of panic, running home to call for his mother. Ha ha ha. I can't fathom why they made such a fuss over these antiques. It's likely the Japanese government aimed to undermine the confidence of the Chinese populace with such theatrics, Qin Fan said bitterly. If only we hadn't been so close to Japanese waters, we could have pursued their ship. What a pity. Wang Xizong swirled his wineglass, the red liquid creating ripples, and lamented, what a shame indeed. Suddenly, Qin Fan's eyes brightened as he proposed. How about we head to Lao Wang's bar tonight to celebrate our safe return? What do you all think? Absolutely. The plump one responded eagerly. These past few days have been too thrilling. We must let loose and enjoy the night. Wang Xizong set down his glass, waving his hand dismissively. You all go ahead. I'm not joining. I've had enough excitement these past few days and need some time to recuperate. Lao Wang, have you grown too old to join us and dampen the spirit? Came the teasing retort. What are you all staring at me for? Wang Yu interjected. He added with a smile, let us wait a few days. Everyone should rest and recharge before heading to the bar. That sounds reasonable, Qin Fan agreed, not pressing the matter further. But Lao Wang, you must bring out your finest wines when the time comes. We deserve to taste them after all this. You cherish them so dearly. You cannot refuse this time, can you? Wang Xizong smiled mildly. No problem. Lao Wang, how has that live-streaming platform of yours been faring lately? Qin Fan continued the conversation. Oh, it's going all right. Just lukewarm. Wang Xizong replied with a hint of resignation. Unfortunately, I entered the industry too late. It's already dominated by leading players, and I'm left to scrape by on the scraps. That is true. Qin Fan nodded in agreement. I've invested in quite a few ventures, but not many have proven profitable. How's the investment market looking these days? Wang Yu casually inquired as the two delved deeper into their discussion of investments. Are you interested? Wang Xikong turned to Wang Yu, curiosity evident in his expression. First, let's gather some information. If there are suitable projects, we shall invest, Wang Yu stated directly. The few individuals present, having traversed the life and death moments of the previous night, had undeniably transformed into true comrades. Thus, there was no need to conceal anything from them. Moreover, his venture into investment and business was merely a matter of time. Given their shared background in Huagua, it was impossible to keep it from them. By being forthright, he hoped to prevent any strain on their camaraderie. Furthermore, he might even glean valuable insights from them. Come on, buddy, Qin Fen exclaimed dramatically. You're only in your second year of university. Instead of seizing these years to enjoy life, you're already contemplating entrepreneurship? This sentiment echoed in the minds of Chun Su and the others. At 20, who among them had not indulged in carefree revelry? Entrepreneurship? That was a pursuit for fools. Wouldn't it be more pleasant to remain a leisurely rich heir, living off his family's fortune? The current investment climate in Huagua was hardly a playground for them. It demanded substantial capital and genuine financial commitment. In recent years, the internet battles online had seen investments soaring into the tens of billions, yet yielded naught but silence. There's always time to play, Wang Yu replied, raising his glass for a sip. I still have a fair amount of funds at my disposal. Leaving in the bank would be a waste. Investing it somehow seems preferable to letting it languish in a bank account. He raised an eyebrow, adding, moreover, this year's investment environment appears promising. Testing the waters with some capital might be worthwhile. Wait, buddy, you still have money to invest. Didn't you just spend over 8 billion last night? Wang Sikong interjected, unable to contain his astonishment. While it was true that Wang Yu had the backing of the Vanguard Heavy Industries Group, ensuring he would not lack funds, the 84 billion he spent last night on various treasures was no mere illusion of stock market bubbles. 84 billion in cash. How many in all of Huagua could even muster such an amount? How on earth do you still have money? Qin Fen, rising from his seat, playfully tightened his grip around Wang Yu's neck. Come on, give us the lowdown. How much capital do you actually have left? Let go, let go. Wang Yu gasped, struggling for breath. Once released, he remarked, I never said I wouldn't tell you. Why the excitement? Qin Fen chuckled awkwardly, retracting his head. Wang Yu lifted his glass and took a hearty gulp, only to find the others leaning forward, eager to hear more. I still have about 10 billion left in my account, Wang Yu admitted with a resigned tone. Wang Sikong and Qin Fen's expressions froze in disbelief. The small, portly figure of Chun Su, mid-bite of a lobster, suddenly stilled. 10 billion. Was it 100 billion, or just over? The atmosphere shifted. Everyone was no longer composed. Wang Sikong and Qin Fen, being among the wealthiest aside from Wang Yu, were astonished, especially Wang Sikong, the son of Huagua's current richest man. Their assets paled in comparison to Wang Yu's, let alone those of Chun Su and the others. Su Yuza, Lin Hao, and Wei Jinglan, who dealt in foreign trade, were in no position to even consider rivaling Wang Yu's financial standing. Chapter 73. The terrifying cash flow. I have endeavored to consider the matter extensively, yet I could not have fathomed that the funds at your disposal surpass my expectations. Wang Sikong cast a deep, complex glance at Wang Yu, his expression revealing a myriad of emotions. He harbored no doubts regarding Wang Yu's assertions. The daily revenue of the Vanguard Heavy Industries Group is astronomically high. Wang Yu possesses the capability to procure hundreds of billions in cash. At their level, there is no need to boast about one's assets to garner attention. What truly matters are the connections and resources that can yield benefits. Hundreds of billions in cash. While Wang Sitsung's family company boasts a substantial market value, the liquidity of such a sum eludes him. Many assets simply cannot be liquidated, and even those that can come with significant delays and depreciated value. Billionaire magnates abound in Magic City, yet those capable of producing 100 billion in cash are scarce, perhaps numbering no more than a handful. Wang Sikong pondered this uncertainty. He certainly could not produce such a sum. Wang Yu, apart from Vanguard Group and Huayao Group, are you certain there are no other enterprises in your family? Qin Fen, visibly astonished, remarked to Wang Yu, I believe that old Wang and I were among the most elite of the younger generation in Huagua. I had no idea you surpassed us all. I am in awe. Chun Su and the chubby boy exchanged glances, clasped their fists, and spoke in unison. So do I. Wang Yu's revelations left them profoundly shaken. As the saying goes, with golden bridges and silver roads, coupled with the involvement in the energy sector, a colossal heavy industry enterprise of such magnitude necessitates discretion. Otherwise, the title of Huagua's wealthiest would not elude your family. Wang Sikong lamented, in my opinion. The title of Huagua's richest ought to belong to Wang Yu's father. That is indeed formidable. Qin Fen gradually regained his composure and concurred. It is indeed terrifying. It seems akin to the extravagant characters in novels who effortlessly possess hundreds of billions. Chun Su's eyes sparkled with excitement as he exclaimed, I understand now. What have you discerned? Wang Sikong and Qin Fen turned to him, curiosity etched on their faces. Chun Su, brimming with enthusiasm, gazed at Wang Yu and declared, I have uncovered Wang Yu's secret. Is your family one of those ancient clans hidden for millennia, now in Magic City to attend university, playing the humble role only to encounter arrogant rich heirs who provoke you? In front of a rare beauty, you retaliate fiercely, ultimately winning her heart and swallowing their family whole. As Chun Su spoke, he eyed Wang Yu warily, patting his chest comically. Fortunately, I have not offended you. Otherwise, my family would be doomed. If it weren't for old Wang introducing us with my usual arrogance, would I not be on my knees begging for mercy before you right now? Initially tense upon hearing Chun Su's words,